Oh my goodness. I kind of like this show right now because they can't hear you, but they can hear me. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going like this. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the next podcast. Guys, get in, get comfortable. We are gonna have a crazy show today. I'm just doing a little sound test real quick. Can one of the panel members just real quick say something, anything? Yep, nope, it's not working yet. Yeah, of course. We'll just do that one. All right, there you go. Now you guys are here. What is up, people? It is a Saturday night. We are going live. Huge shout out to everybody in the chat right now. It is great to see you guys. I saw the chat was on fire. Everybody talking to each other, of course, talking games. This is our new intros scene on the next podcast. I hope you guys like it. You got the chat right up there. So if you want to say anything and you want it to be immortalized on this show for basically ever, you want to type it in the chat right now. As usual, we do have the super chat going. But let's get into the intros. And first off, there's a reason why I'm gonna number it this way. First off, guys, I know your lights are flickering. Because I'm going to introduce that man. Everybody, it is time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring, the Don!
Hey guys, the original Don's here. The original Kiss the Ring is here.
The only Don.
Don't accept any invitations. There are people writing on my coattails right now. But that being said, let's do this podcast and let's keep it rolling.
Nice, brother. Nice. And next on the list, after saving the world for so many times, I can't even count. And that's just because I can only count on my fingers and toes. And he's gone way past that. Coming back to the show, Dark Optimus!
What is up, everyone? Happy to be here. Happy to get into these topics as well. We got some fire topics tonight, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, so much has gone on. We had a game reveal. We had a hardware price leak. We've had just a
gamers complaining about games.
There you go.
Like every week.
Nice. Now, Dark, you were on Crossfire, and you said you might have an announcement for tonight. Is there anything you want to announce right now in intros?
Well, I think you already just did it. I was gonna say I'm back now. I'm back on the next family.
Well, yeah, you come on every once in a while. What do you mean by your next by your back? What is going on?
Meaning I'm gonna be here every freaking Saturday until you guys get sick of me.
Nice. Now, yo, check this out. Dark Optimus, aka the Angry Otter, is back on a weekly basis, and dude, Dark, I think the person that will get sick of you first, who do you think that might be?
Mega, definitely.
There you go, brother. Yeah. Well, dude, it is good to have you back.
Definitely, bro.
I always love when you jumped in. Didn't know what to expect, but when there was a topic and like a topic you were interested in, and you actually had the time, because I know work was kind of crazy, all that good stuff. It was always cool to see you in, and now you're gonna be here every week, and you're gonna make Mega pull out. I was gonna say pull his hair out, but he doesn't. Maybe his eyebrow hair.
I don't think he has hair, does he?
What about eyebrow? Maybe right? Eyebrow hair. Pull that out or whatnot.
No, those are plugs too.
Those are plugs too.
Like a 40-year-old with a comb over.
Now you're going to be able to hear me every week and still not expect what I'm doing. So
nice.
It's going to be great.
Nice. And on that note, I do want to say there are other introductions that need to be done, but unfortunately, we have panel members that are running late right now.
What's poppin'?
Never mind. Guys, one of the most opinionated gaming YouTubers on the planet, Knoxximus!
I feel like kicking the shit out of my computer right now. But what's really good, everybody? Panel, bot, Mel, I see some Snaps is in the house.
Oh
Dark.
no, I'm using her computer for Hangout.
Oh, okay.
She's here in spirit, man.
All right.
She's here in spirit. She'll be talking throughout the show a little bit here and there.
Mimi,
Knox,
You'll
don't,
hear.
don't,
we got Dark. We the Don. We good right now, kid.
hey, man, Knox, don't kick that computer, man. You're gonna hurt your toes wearing those Crocs.
Oh!
Yeah, I love my Crocs, bro. These shits are comfortable.
I know, no, but those are no kicking shoes. I'm telling you right now.
That's true.
All right, so what was going on with your computer, man? Did you have an update like me a couple weeks ago? Like,
I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going, but it's taking mad long. It's mad slow. I can't get like Chrome to work properly. I can't get anything on my Google Drive. It's acting real stupid. I gotta really mess with it. I gotta see what's going on. I don't know if I need to defragment or if there's an update that I don't know about or something's going on, though.
Yo, brother, me and you are in the same boat right now. You know, I was having issues with the Hangout. I found the fix, and I'm gonna do it after the show. But I already started the Hangout on OSnap's computer. So everybody out there in the chat, please do not tell OSnaps I am using her computer right now. But I am doing it. And huge shout out to Vogels Creek, putting in that super chat early. Glad to have Dark back. Hashtag vote for Dark. Hashtag vote for Knox. Dude, so you're just gonna...
That means Knox gets $1, I get $1, right? Right, Bob?
Word.
Maybe 50-50. Oh, we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay. If I get $1.50, I'm cool with that as well.
Wow, no,
And then Knox can get 50 cents, you know?
Wow, Knox, he's
somewhat part of it.
He's trying to cut you, man. I don't know.
He just got back too.
I know.
I know, man.
He's like, I'm a veteran. I've been here before.
I'm taking all that shit.
Oh, and guys, I will let you know, Predator is on his way. He'll be here in less than, I'd say about 15 minutes or so. He said he'll be here at about 7:30 Eastern.
No, that military time's tricky, man. You never know what that means.
Yo, he didn't talk in military time.
Oh, he does.
But so he should be showing up. It'll be great to have him on. Unfortunately, K Mega got dragged to a wedding, and he's probably at the the free drinks bar right now, getting lit. And
wait, isn't that shotgun wedding he was talking about?
Shotgun, the back of the pickup truck wedding.
Man, that's how they do it out there.
Oh, you gotta yell yeehaw! Yeah. But yeah, so he's at a wedding.
Exactly like that game Showdown.
Oh man. Speaking of Showdown, Predator has Showdown Hunt Showdown gameplay in his gameplay. It was really cool. So guys, let's get into it. I am gonna go with the gameplay now. And first topic. People have been anticipating a new Star Wars game, possibly a good Star Wars game. And with what has been going on with EA and articles, certain games to drop and stuff, people were concerned. All right, you look at Battlefront as well. People didn't like Battlefront 2. There was a whole pay-to-win type thing involved there. But Respawn came out with their unveiling of Star Wars, Jedi of the Fallen Order, right?
Yeah, it's called Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I took a look at this unveiling at this, world premiere, and I don't know. To me, it looked pretty good. I want to hear what the panel thinks, and as usual, everybody out there in the chat, let us know your opinions as well. But I am going to start with the man who was in the Hangout first, besides me. And that would be Dark Optimus. Yo, Dark, what did you think? Did you check out the world premiere, the unveiling of this game, and what do you think? Are you hyped, or is this not looking good to you right now?
I started watching the unveiling. They showed the trailer, and I was just like, okay, let's see what the trailer is going to be like. I'm not going to put judgment on it until I actually see it and see what I'm get myself into with the game. I started watching it and I was just like, Okay, this is actually a Star Wars game I am super excited about because it's the single player gameplay that I want. It's you know, the actors that they got playing these characters look fantastic. The game, the trailer, it wasn't like, gameplay of the game, but you can kind of tell what you're going to be getting yourself into with this game. Um, and it looks awesome, dude. I can't wait. This is probably the most excited I am for a Star Wars game in a while. I haven't been excited for a Star Wars game since probably Force Unleashed, which came out a long time ago, So
Dude, Force Unleashed was a lot of fun, man. I
yeah,
got
that
in
that
like
game was
day one.
awesome. Yeah, that game was awesome. And then, Force Unleashed 2 was awesome too. And then, like, when I saw the trailers for like Battlefront and Battlefront 2, I was kind of like, I don't care. Like, I never really liked the Battlefront games because, like, I want to be a Jedi. I want to be able to, like, do all those crazy moves that you can do and stuff like that, and use the Force. And,
Space
you know,
monk.
right, I want to be a space monk. Yeah, exactly. Or yeah, I want to be a space ninja. So it's just it just appeals to me more than, stormtroopers and things like that. I
Mm,
don't really get into those too much. I mean, of course I dig them because, I love Star Wars. I think Star Wars is an amazing, franchise, but I wanted to be able to, be a Jedi again. We haven't had that in a while. I mean, unless
mm.
you're playing like Battlefront 2 or Battlefront where you
Battlefront
have
2 with like
the
the special characters and stuff
right
like
with the special characters or something like that, you can be a
that.
Jedi or a Sith or something. But you know, how often do you get to, really play that, in the game? It's not very very often,
All right, well,
and that game's not very good either. So
now, Dark, like, you said you're excited about this, and I can see that. Like, I can see when they're like it's like a darker successor to Force Unleashed. That gets me kind of excited. Now, are
yeah.
you kind of are you more at ease with this game because it's not running on Frostbite? That seems to be a big thing recently. Is the use of the Frostbite engine. This is they're using the Unreal Engine. It is Respawn. Does that make you feel like more comfortable about the game?
It doesn't make me feel more comfortable. I think it just makes me feel that they're like maybe EA is actually kind of listening to the developers here and there a little bit.
Mm.
Hopefully, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't work for them, so I can't really say. But it does give me some confidence that this game will actually be a decent game for it being on Unreal 4 instead of Frostbite, because Frostbite, as we all know, is not made for third person type of games. It's more for first person, so
No,
it makes me more
Uh,
excited.
it can be
I
used for anything, to be honest with you.
Huh?
It can be used for anything. It's not really designed for one or the other.
Right. Well, I mean, it just doesn't work very well with third person, really. I think people have had problems with it in the past with third person.
Oh, Don about to get triggered right now. But
No,
before
I'm
that
not.
happens,
I'm not
well,
triggered.
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, Don
I,
would
I,
know better than I do.
no, I'm just saying it. Like all the engine really does is manage resources, right? So it manages polygons, textures, things like that, and how that stuff loads and lighting systems and stuff like that. So the fact that if something's first person, third person, over the shoulder, top
boulder
down,
holders, yeah.
top down view, like that's irrelevant. That comes down to the skills and the talents of the individuals that work on the games, to be honest with you.
Oh, the vape police is in the chat, and huge shout out to Doyle fan for hitting up that super chat. Yo, thank you for that support, brother. Well, I'm gonna move to the Don next. Now, Don, I'm not sure if you are a big kind of like Star Wars fan, or if you're a part of that gaming community that has been kind of like, wanting and needing a quality like Star Wars game, like going back like story focus and stuff like that. So let us know if you are like a Star Wars fan and if you're waiting for a game like that, and then let me know if this kind of like this trailer kind of pointed you that might be the direction that this game could be going in.
Yeah, it met every expectation that I would want from Respawn, to be honest with you. They hinted a lot of the gameplay elements throughout the trailer, so you guys can get a little hint of what it's about.
Like what? Like what? Like is
That,
there
that,
anything?
that's my question. 'Cause
I'm
No.
going to leave it at that and let you guys go back and hunt through there. They left elements out.
Yeah.
They left elements out, but you're going to get a rough idea. Like, imagine 2030. The way it was described to me, because I did get to see this actually prior to the Force celebration that there was going on where this was released. To be honest with you, what they're trying to do is take 2013, the original concept of like a story-driven game from that, and more or less merge it with Force Unleashed, but kind of taper it back a bit, where it's not as so out of control. And that's the way it was described to me. And it's your journey of this particular individual. That's all I'm really allowed to say, to be honest with you. But it looks fun. Star Wars is Star Wars, man. It's an evergreen kind of fantasy product that we all enjoy, and it kind of appeals to everyone's inner child, and just kind of how that product is. So.
All right. Well, and before we move on to Knox, I got a question because I asked Dark about the whether he's more comfortable with it being on Unreal, seeing as all the criticism that Frostbite is getting from like gamers out there right now. Now, for you, Don, I want to ask because if you look at Respawn was built from people who were making Call of Duty, which you think first-person shooter or whatnot. Do you like what? How do you think they're gonna tackle like a third person kind of like Jedi game? Where you're using force powers and instead of shooting, which we all know Titanfall, Call of Duty, they're definitely good with those mechanics. Do you have like any kind of like we gotta wait and see on gameplay when it comes to the characters using a basically a saber and all that good stuff instead?
Well, the peace of mind that I have about all of it is, take it for what it's worth. This is the game that both EA and Disney approved. So out of all the Star Wars games that are out there, this is the one that they're like, this is the one we got to hold on to.
Okay.
The other thing that they keep in mind is Respawn really wasn't, for the longest time, they weren't owned by EA, right? Like they were like a partnership. And then there's something along the lines that happened that basically EA ended up owning them. And the reason why they did that, because they're doubling down, and this is one of the games that, that obviously sold them on the studio. So, there's a lot of things kind of going on along those lines. So, not only you got the overseers of EA, but you have the overseers that handles the Star Wars franchise. I know that's kind of a controversial thing because some people don't like what certain things that Star Wars is doing. Some people do. But this is what it got. This was made it through all that. So that alone should be, I would say, something people should be excited about.
All right, brother. That's the only thing with me when it comes to this whole thing. I'm excited. I want to see when I hear like Force Unleashed, but like up to like this generation or whatnot. I get excited. I did really enjoy.
Taper that down a little bit.
But see, that's what I don't. I want it over the top the way the first. Like,
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be over the top, but I think the gameplay is definitely dependent on it. Force powers, basically. It's all force powers.
Nice. And I'm down for that. Like picking somebody up in the air and just tossing them without actually using my hands. It makes you feel like a badass, like being able to do all that stuff.
Think of it a more grounded version of Force Unleashed, I guess is the best way to describe it.
You're oh man. I was really
I'm telling you this now because what's going to happen is you're going to think it's one thing, and then you're going to express yourself, and I know people listen to you, and so the people are going to listen to you, and then when it comes out, everyone's going to just be disappointed. Like that's not the game that I was told that this is, and I definitely trust my resources on this one.
Is this like an over the top third-person action style game? Because that's my whole question with the trailer. The trailer was dope.
Yeah, I think the trailer is indicative of what we're actually going to get from a story perspective of the game, for sure.
I want to give a shout out to the chat real quick. Yo, Christopher, I don't know what this game is. This is
I'm trying to figure this out.
This is K Mega's gameplay, and he goes like between PC and Xbox, and dabbles with PlayStation as well. I thought it was a Deadpool, but there's no real comedy in it or anything like that. I have no freaking idea what this game is. So since we don't know, you guys don't have to vote for it. But I'm just saying. Yo, Knox. So you said the trailer was dope. Now, to me, I feel like the main character really looks like Anakin.
Yeah, I felt that as well.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna keep it real. I was like, yeah, he kind of reminds me of Anakin. At first, I was thinking, is this like a prequel game? Like I really was thinking that, and then but it looked hot, bro. The trailer it definitely has me intrigued. It piqued my interest. I'll admit. Now it is Respawn, and we're used to them doing excellent, first person shooters.
Yes.
They're doing an over the top. I'm gonna assume this is because I don't know yet. It doesn't really. It's very vague in the trailer as to what type of game it is. I can only assume that if we're gonna use force powers and we're some sort of trainee Jedi or secret Jedi bringing the order back, because it's called Jedi Fallen Order, right? And I guess it's gonna be a Jedi that's gonna reveal himself. They're trying to lay low or whatever. That's the feeling I got from it. They're trying to lay low till he has to use his powers. When the guy's falling down, he uses the force, I guess, to stop him from dropping in that scene.
Yeah, and it seems like he's been trying to just blend in, not use his powers, try to live life.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to just lay low in the cut. So it definitely has me intrigued. But like I said, it's Respawn. I'm used to them for first-person shooters, Titanfall and Call of Duty and all that. So over the top perspective, third-person action game, like old school God of War style perspective or the Force Unleashed, that's gonna be a different ball game from them. But I'm glad to see that somebody else got it other than DICE, because just like Dark said, not for real. I can't. The Battlefront games are very pretty, but I fucking hate the way they play. I hate the way they play. There's something about those controls that I don't like. But I'm not a Battlefield fan either. I just don't like. I don't like DICE's. I don't like their shooting.
Isn't that why it's important for Star Wars to have many different types of games, right? Like
that game that Amy Hennig was doing would look dope.
Yeah, it did.
That looked hot because Dark was saying he just wants to be like a Jedi and he wants to be and that's cool. But playing as Boba Fett or Han Solo, you know what I mean? Like either that character, that bad guy, that would have been dope too.
Like that gunslinger / mentality.
Yeah, bro, with gadgets and shit. Yeah, with gadgets and all that.
I hear you. Now, Knox, my question for you is, I think we saw kind of like the main antagonist in this trailer. All right?
It looked like a female. I think it's a female character.
Well, very skinny. We'll put it that way. Very, very skinny. Like, to me, that was a little underwhelming. I would have liked to see kind of like the more classic villains, because
I think they're trying to bring back another female another female Sith Lord to come out. Because what's the one from the Clone Wars that was no joke? The bald one, the bald Jedi.
Mace Windu?
No. I'm sorry, not the bald Sith, the bald Sith female that was the apprentice.
You're talking about the cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember her name though.
But she was a kick.
She was badass.
Yeah, she was a kick. So if they do that with this Sith Lord, because it looks like a female to me, because if it's just a real skinny dude, that shit'll be garbage. But if it's a female, which I think it is, it looks like a female. The suit was pretty dope. They try to little Darth Vader, Boba Fett combo type.
I don't know. I got kind of a Kylo Ren feeling from that one.
I got an angry vegetarian.
Yeah, dude. To me, the villain felt a little bit light. Now, Knox with him saying like he thinks it's a woman, that kind of gives it a little more. Like, all right, now I really want to check this out. But if it turns out to be a guy, I was like, really? This little twig right here is gonna put themselves on the cockpit of that ship, and you just see.
As soon as I saw that scene, I'm like, oh shit, the bad guy's a chick, the bad guy's a woman. All right, cool. This is gonna be hot. Like a female Sith Lord, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it reminds me of, and this is I'm not giving away a story. I know parts of it, but this is something I don't know. Just my interjection
Okay.
is it. I honestly think they're young Padawans that are refugees.
Huh.
Okay.
So,
I can see that.
I could.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you can see like the main character being that, and I can see the villain has been issued to hunt them down after the
Ooh.
order. So it can be it can be a young Padawan of it can be a young girl, you don't know, it can be
Mm-hmm.
because obviously like you can't really tell from that, you can just assume things. But that's the impression I got. Everybody was young, like the main character was young. The villain didn't seem aged either, like it seemed young. That's the impression I got. So I mean, it doesn't mean it's right or anything like that. It's just me guessing.
It could be a Sith. It could be a Sith apprentice. You know what I mean? It could be a Sith apprentice, but it looked hot though. It looked interesting.
Yo, huge shout out to Atrocity Knights in the chat, hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. I can't excuse me. I can't remember the name of the main character, but I could just see him as the guy from Shameless. Which guy
And
from
Gotham.
Shameless?
He's the guy from Gotham as well.
Yeah, are you talking like the crazy dad in Shameless?
No, the guy who's playing the main character for Fallen Order. That's who he's talking about.
Yeah, no, to me it just looks like Anakin. Yeah, like
no, it's the dude that's playing him is an actual real actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was in Gotham as well. He played like the Joker or whatever in Gotham.
Dude, you're one of like 5 people who watch Gotham. Let's be real
I,
here.
I've never watched it. I've just only seen like.
Damn, so you know of it, but yet never watched it. I'm not sure if that is bonus points for you, or if we're taking points away because of that, man. But I don't know. It's going to be
Doesn't
interesting. I think we have to see gameplay. That's the next logical step.
Yeah, absolutely. That because I really wanted to see gameplay, bro. I really wanted to see.
Well, the first unveiling, you don't get a lot of, if any, if you get some gameplay, it's usually like really small. Like usually when they do the first unveiling, it's a CGI, it's a story trailer, kind of, get you in on what's going on, get you kind of like feeling the emotions of the story, and then they're gonna go into like detail about the actual gameplay. I'm excited for it, man. If it is a cousin of Force Unleashed, I had a lot of fun playing that game, and I'm looking forward to it. But when it's all said and done, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about the so-called price leak, which actually has been verified a little bit more because Windows Central came out with an article about it as well for the Xbox One S all digital. Now, supposedly it's supposed to come with 3 games. Sea of Thieves.
Xbox One sad.
What happened?
Xbox One sad.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna call it sad, huh?
I mean, that's what they're calling it.
Did you call the Xbox?
They do it to themselves, man.
They're doing it to themselves.
Yo, me and Dark were talking about talking about the marketing and stuff like that, and like how they kind of set themselves up with these kind of things, and we're like, man, they need a whole new marketing squad. Like who would sign off on calling it S all digital? Like nobody saw sad in there at all.
Just remove the all. Just S digital. That's all you got to do.
Yep.
Exactly.
Xbox
One S digital. No,
SD. Xbox One SD, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's all digital. Like they wanted to put that in there, but guys, all right, 3 games.
The sad X bone.
Or just call it called Xbox One all digital. Not take off the S.
X bone sad.
Knox, you crazy for that, man. Yeah, he said sad X phone.
Oh, jeez.
All right, 3 games: Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 3. And I feel like the biggest kind of like information from this leak is supposedly it's going to be $250 in the US. Now, I know I've gone on record saying like if it's like $150 or something like that, I could see that. But I want to hear the panel's take on this, and of course everybody in the chat as well. Put your opinions in the chat. But let's start with Knox. Knox, dude. What do you think about this? You know, the all digital system, no disc tray, 3 games. So Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 3 for 250. What is the biggest deal out of this league for you, man? What sticks out the most?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, all right, cool. You bundled in free games. I think that's something that should always be happening. I don't like that stopped. When you bought a console, you usually got a game included with it back in the days. You know what I mean? And they kind of stopped doing that with consoles. They kind of started just putting out demos and little samplers and shit like that. But there's really nothing that draws my attention there for 250 and it doesn't take disc. So for $50, I say $50 because that shit is like still what, $299 or the regular one?
The 1S, anybody know the price of the 1S? Ever since I got the X, I haven't really looked up on it.
I think right now the S is $299.
$299. Yeah, that's
what I believe.
Or if you get it on sale, it's $240 right now.
Right, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So why would I get the sad one? Unless I just want the 3 games, and all you got to do is really pay the 10 yuccas, and you got all 3 of them games on a regular one.
That is true.
Yeah, you pay 10 yuccas for Game Pass, and you got all 3 of them shits.
Guys, there's been a yucca sighting. I'm just saying. So, dude,
Knox, I have to give you some trouble, man. I haven't been around with you in a while, man.
Yo, Knox, so what do you think about like this as a whole? Like I look at this and I definitely thought they were gonna go lower. Like, do you think? I know you think personally.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured it would have been like $199. You know what I mean? $199 with the 3 free games, and all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Maybe now it's something I can look at. Oh, I save $100 over the to get the discless one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is what to get the sad one.
So, damn, man. You
guys
are savage today. With the sad.
You save a buck. I don't know what they're doing, man. I don't think they care. I think Microsoft is like, hey, you get it if you get it, you don't if you don't. And that's my whole shit with them right now that I'm not feeling. Like for real, I'm riding my X into the next gen, bro. I'm gonna wait on Microsoft's console. Anaconda. See, my wife saying I'm a liar. She's calling me a liar.
I believe her.
Lady Knox coming in with the truth.
I mean, y'all know I'm a gamer, bro. So eventually I'm gonna get them all. But I'm definitely holding off on the Xbox. The next Xbox, not only do they gotta have like the bangers, like the first party bangers, right? That show the prowess of the system, whatever, because they haven't done that with the X yet. You know what I'm saying? So the next gen console got to do that. The user interface got to be nice and easy and smooth, because all PlayStation did was take 360 shit and ran with it, and look how good it is. So I don't understand why Microsoft fucked with their shit, you know, but. Yeah, I'm riding my X into next gen, bro. On the Microsoft side of things, I'm gonna just hold off, get the games on the X. Hopefully, it'll show the power of the X off until the Anaconda drops, and I'll probably just roll in with PS5 first. But I'm just saying.
Well, we got a subject. I think you're just slightly bleeding into one of like the hotter topics that's going to be later on.
Yeah, Knox, what are you doing, man?
But
my bad.
All right, well, let's.
It's not Microsoft. I'm just saying, it's the whole thing. Microsoft just doesn't. I don't understand why they do the shit they do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
No, it's all good, brother. Dark, what do you think about this supposed leak? And like I said, it has some credibility. I think it was MS Power was the first website with this supposed leak, and then Windows Central came in with an article and kind of backed it up as well. So I'm thinking this is more true than anything else. What do you think about this all digital system? Would you pay $250 for an Xbox without a disc tray?
So here's the thing. This thing isn't.
Uh-oh.
This thing is for people who don't have an Xbox yet, who are basically looking to get into the next generation of consoles, or even people who have kids who just don't have the really the money to be forking over to buy a bunch of games for them or whatever right out the bat, and they get this console with 3 games or whatever,
And then get Game Pass afterwards.
and then get Game Pass afterwards and things like that. I think this is more for those type of people. $250 I think is a little steep for this type of
Me
thing,
too, man.
but I'm kind of trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and because I don't want to like completely be like, oh well, this is the price that's gonna be, because in euros apparently it's 229.99 or whatever, something like that. So the 1-to-1 between our currency and their currency is
the
a
euro
little
is
different.
worth more. The
It's
euro
worth
is
more. So it might be cheaper here than it is over there in
No, it would be more
Europe.
since the euro is worth more. It would take it would take $2 to equal to €1. So
Right.
So
No, you're right.
if it's 229, it'd be like say like 250 over here.
Right. So that's a steep price.
250 yuccas.
Yeah, 250
Oh,
yuccas.
He is in, guys. One of the starting lineup, an all-star here on Next Podcast, Predator.
What's going on? Sorry for the late intro, man. I had to work today, so
Yo,
it's
that's
a
weird,
rare,
man. Why
rare
they got you
thing.
working on
Yo,
Saturday?
Brad, what's good?
Talk to you,
Okay.
President.
Okay, now shut up, Pred, so I can finish what I'm talking about.
That's enough. That's enough talk to you.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, this whole all digital console is definitely not for the hardcore gamer. It's definitely for people who are just wanting to get into this generation of consoles. This is like the tail end. You can absolutely tell that this is the tail end of the this generation of consoles. We're moving more towards the next gen, and us hardcores, we're going to go towards whatever we feel is going to give us the best bang for our buck. So I think this is kind of just, but still $250 is way too high.
Well,
for this type of thing.
Dark. I'm thinking about it, and I'm gonna see kind of like your memory when it comes to last generation, because I do remember before the Xbox One came out, they had another revision of the 360.
Yeah, they had the E.
Do you remember how much that was?
I'm not sure. I think it was
still pricey, man.
I think it was like 200, I think.
Okay.
I think it was 200, yeah.
And that was like the longest generation we've ever really dealt with.
Right.
When it comes to hardware.
But that console was actually pretty cool, because it kind of like looked like an Xbox One, so people were like, "Oh, this is the new Xbox One?" And this was like, "No, that's not the new Xbox One."
It was like pre-back compat, so
yeah.
But yeah, no, those would probably that probably, I always thought that would look cool right next to an Xbox One. I never picked one up, but yeah, like big brother little brother type thing. But I'm in the same boat that 250, in my opinion, is if you want
It's
people,
steep.
yeah, if you want people to adopt digital, even if they don't have an Xbox One yet, all right, you take that price and you drop it, like majorly drop it. So this way, people who would be on the fence, even with all digital and stuff like that, even people who are on the fence about buying an Xbox One, that price point just gets them to be like, you know what? Screw it. I might as well get it. That $150 to $200 range, like right in there. That's where I thought it would be, and I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on the price with this. But let's get Pred in here, man. We got to get you in the flow. So, dude, what do you think about this Xbox One S, all digital, and the supposed price point for $250, man?
So I didn't get a chance to look too in depth in this, but from what I understand, it's $250. It's got a 1 terabyte hard drive, correct?
Yeah.
And it's missing the disc. So like, outside of them adding more space, like there's no change to this at all, right? You're not getting any other upgraded graphics or anything like that.
No, it's the Xbox One S. So
you're
getting that performance, the S performance, and like you said, 1 terabyte 3 games. So you're getting Minecraft, Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon 3.
And they come like the full game, right? Not like Game Pass version of it.
No, they're full
like that,
games. Right? 3 full games.
Man,
it's still expensive, man.
It's $250, man. It's like to me, like when you take something away, you should be decreasing the price. So what's the S going at right now?
I think we said
about 300, somewhere around there.
The
normally,
S is
it's normally listed at 300, and you can find sales all the time for 250.
For 250, yeah.
250, and some of them actually include new games.
Some do, yeah.
So with maybe another game included in that. So I think I'm gonna go with you, Xbot, and say I think it's a misstep. I think if they're gonna make a Slim, to be honest with you, if they're gonna make a Slim, they should have decreased the price of it, even without the game. Like just give me the console without the game. And I think another part of it is like, what are they using with that extra space that they're not using now with the disk drive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't design any of this shit or anything like that, but like if I'm going to decrease and take things out of it, I want to make the console a little bit smaller, and that's when I heard about the console and what it's going to look like they just basically took the S, took the disc out of it and just put like tape over, like what the disk drive was,
Yeah.
so like.
Did you just say they bonded over the disk drive hole?
Yeah.
What's that?
They
bonded over the disk
Yeah,
drive.
just put like duct tape over it or something like that, or put like a line over it, like so like nothing changed, and they kept the price basically on par what you're getting now with the drive with the disc on it. So if I want the option to actually buy a game, to me it makes more sense to buy the system with the disc drive on it, and I can still buy the game physically and put it in there. Like it gives you that option to buy physically, whereas disc drive just kind of takes it away. With the disc list or whatever with the bullshit they're doing right now. If
go ahead and
if
call it
me,
the SAD. Everybody else did already. Man.
the SAD, yeah, like
Knox giggling in the background.
and it's a setting up for them to do the same thing with the X, right? Like later on down the road, right? You do understand that because like they're gonna come out with another version of this motherfucker.
Yeah, but if they do that to the X, man, that fucks it up because the Blu-ray player, that's one of the appealing factors of the X too.
This is true, but also another appealing factor is I can play in 4K. I can't do that in the S. Why even make it though? Just go straight to the X and just make the X version for $250 with the discless X. That would have been a lot different. But like, it's the S. Who the fuck is buying the S right now? Who's buying that? When they have a more powerful console for like $100 more. I mean, like, and I think it just dropped in price recently too, didn't it?
Yep.
It's like I think it was what $399, $499 down to $350 now.
Something like that, yeah.
And you could lease that motherfucker. You could go
right. So
like lease that shit.
They could have came with a discless X for $300 and been done with it, but they decided to spend their money on the S, and then, like I'm saying, like I promise you, they're gonna come out with a version of the X right after they drop the new Xbox.
I actually, me personally, I don't have an issue with which Xbox One they decided to do all digital. My whole thing is if you want people to adopt all digital and you're coming out with that hardware, I feel that $250 is too much money. I don't.
This isn't official, right? This isn't like we saw some leaks, but like it's not
it's
official.
It's a leak, but it's also kind of been verified by Windows Central as well.
Well, I mean, first of all, they should have if they're gonna do this, they should have kind of incorporated this in one big giant bundle. Like when they decided to drop, the price, the whole rumor we're hearing about the Xbox Live Game Pass thing. This would have made more sense to all come out at once. To me, like here's a diskless Xbox One X with this brand new, Game Pass / Xbox Live combo thing we're doing, and we're gonna give it all to you for the low price of $399, right? And add it all together, but like just dropping this shit piecemeal like this, and you have the inferior console that you're claiming all this power. But you throw out the S out there to do this with, and not the X. I think that's to me the biggest misstep was not using the X for this. Like you can buy an S, like we were saying before, for the same price with the disk drive. But like I know, like Knox, he's big on movies and 4K and stuff like that, but not everybody's into that. I want to game in 4K because I bought a console to game on, not necessarily to watch movies on. I stream movies and stuff like that too, so I want to stream in 4K. But like, if you give me that discless with Game Pass / Xbox Live at a decent price, I think that makes more sense. Not the S, because I don't think anyone's really buying the S right now. If they're gonna go out and buy a brand new Xbox, it's not gonna be the S.
So do you think that when they're doing this with the all digital S, and then if they come out with the X all digital, which you're kind of saying, do you think that they'll discontinue the regular X and the regular S?
I think they'll discontinue the regular S in the beginning. Like those kind of step away from it and kind of transition into the other ones. But like, that's my theory. I think they'll do an X version at some point in time. But I think a lot of it kind of depends on how the X diskless, the SAD does. But I would have just skipped that part and just went straight to the X. I think I would have just skipped the whole S version of it and just went straight to a diskless X version.
I just feel if they're gonna have it where they're gonna have the S all digital, and then they're gonna have an S, and then they're gonna have an X, and then maybe even an X all digital. Like, I feel like that's gonna be confusing to a lot of customers. I think.
Well, here's the other fucked up part, like the price. I mean, like I kind of mentioned it before. You guys mentioned like if it was like 150, then yeah, do it.
That would be perfect, right? That'd actually be a great deal. 150.
To get someone to kind of come 150 with Game Pass bundle in there for like a little bit. I know they got games and shit, but like I don't want 3 games. Give me Game Pass with all the games, 150 fucking damn near 200 games they have in there. Give me that bundled with it instead for like 3 to maybe even 6 months.
But they're gonna keep dropping all these variants now of the different Xboxes when they potentially got new hardware a year and a half away.
And that's why I said leave the S alone.
You're right. Yep, it's true. Like because that's what I was gonna say. They're doing it with the S now. If you later on try to do it with the X, but the Anaconda and Lockhart are around the corner, why the fuck am I even gonna bother with a digital X?
Just wait. I mean, and we kind of say that though because we heard about the S before the X came out, but like a lot of us bought the S anyway. We kind of upgraded, But I just think, to me, I think they should have just kind of just left the S generation alone. I know it's a decent console, but like it's not smaller, it's not more powerful. Actually you're losing stuff by picking up the SAD version of it. So like, why produce it? Like, come out with the X version of it. At least people can they came from the OG Xbox that went to the S that have not picked up the X yet can at least upgrade to it because they haven't decided to do that yet. And then you decide to drop the price on the X as well to kind of like it. I don't know, man. Like sometimes like their mindset is right, but their timing is wrong. When they came with the X, they dropped the fucking bundle for Minecraft, like the custom.
Yo, Pred, Ryback in the chat said, if I were MS, I would have killed the S last year.
Yeah. I
mean, there really is no point of them having an S, to be honest, unless they want, less people who want a cheaper version of the Xbox One.
The only thing I can think of is they had so many of those motherfuckers lying around that they said, "Look, let's be real. They had a bunch of like leftover shit, and they're like, "Low, let's just change the box. We'll spend $20 to change the box, or maybe $5." And they got it done in China. Spend the $5 to change the cover of the box. Take the disc out, and we'll sell it that way to get rid of the shit. And that was it. And that's the only thing I can think of.
They have plenty of server blades to shove those things in.
I'm sure they had like a lot of parts they could have just used over.
Yeah.
Take the disk drive out. Well, it's a break even for them. Take the disk drive out. We'll have to spend money on that and just fucking make a new shell.
Well, Don is saying that they have plenty of server farms where they can use the S hardware and drop it in for like xCloud or whatever.
That was the plan, right?
Yeah.
I mean that they have to have a lot of those to make all that stuff work. So. Mm-hmm.
Well, Don, what do you think about this all digital? What do you think about the price point and the offering? Do you think this is something that gamers are gonna consider, or do you think like the price is too high? What's your deal, man?
See, and I always try to separate myself a little bit from this stuff, and I always rely on the wife. She's she plays like 3 games, right? Sea of Thieves, Cuphead, and Worms Armageddon, right? So she doesn't play a
Oh,
lot
she
of
gotta
games.
play Gang Beasts. Come on, man. We gotta get this.
Hey, man,
going.
one game at a time. I'm winning her over.
Okay.
But she's playing on a fat right now.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. If she's playing games with me, but I need to get her a new headset and maybe I'll upgrade her console. And I showed her I don't say anything. I just show her the diskless version of it. And the very first thing, she didn't even read the article. She sees the picture, the people that did a mock-up. She's all, "Where's my disk drive?" She wants a disk drive because she wants to play her movies. She wants to do all other stuff. That is what a casual gamer does, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those things. So it didn't really have a lot of value for her. She's like, "Yeah, I know. I buy all your games. She buys my games digitally for me and all that sort of stuff."
Aw.
But like, she's just like, "But I still want a disk drive. I still use it as a multimedia device." She goes, "I love the fact that I can go from a game, playing with me, to going to Netflix, to going to watching a movie that we have in our collection that we have on disc." She loves that being a feature and being all tied to one box and not having multiple boxes tied to the television. So she looks at this. She's like, I don't want that.
Huh.
So she's just like, I just rather have the plain S. And she's like, to be honest with you, I'm kind of happy with the fat. So it's an interesting situation where I think the S is it's tapering off. I don't think they need to cancel the S. The S is still selling decently and still selling well. I don't think this is kind of a plan to offload a bunch of consoles, but I think they're testing the grounds with the concept of doing something all digital.
Well, Don, because you said you're using Mrs. KTR as kind of like the measuring stick here. Do you think that they're like pressing too hard for the all digital with coming out with this, man?
I don't think the price difference is enough to make it.
So I think we're all in agreement on the price.
Yeah, I think the if the price is true, it's not enticing enough. I mean, if they said, hey, because basically what they're removing is the price of what it costs them to put the disk drive in the console. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
So they're basically breaking even the same regardless. So if they want to be more aggressive and not lose as much money on a console by removing the disk drive and go lower, I think that makes more sense. In regards to, and then make it off on the back end on the games or the services or whatever they feel it's necessary, right? But yeah, I just don't think it has the wide consumer appeal. I don't think it has the casual gamer in mind. I mean, maybe this is a next generation of gamers. Maybe like Bot, you talk about your kids and like they do everything on an iPad, right? Like, or they do a lot of things on an iPad,
Yeah.
and I know some kids like that too.
Their Chromebooks, their tablets, like they go crazy on those things.
Yeah, and I know, because my family's huge because I'm in Utah, but
that's great.
And I have a lot of kids, a lot of nephews and stuff like that to pull from. But like,
I have a lot of kids, and I was like, dang, Don.
No, I don't have a lot of kids, but I got relatives.
Not yet, but once that cork is popped, man, they're just gonna it's gonna flow like the champagne.
They just start flowing out like when snaps do.
See, Bob would know because he's got like 20 kids.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. 20 now?
Yeah.
Dang, Bob, when did you have 2 more, dude?
He said 2 more. Oh no.
He was going for a better tax return this year, but
it does look good on the tax return.
What I am trying to say though is some of them grew up with never having a disc on the shelf, right? So this kind of has an appeal to them. So maybe it's for a different generation. But I just don't think the price is enticing enough. I think it's a little bit of a swing and a miss, to be honest.
I think we're all in agreement with that. Yo, huge shout out for Gaming Ringer hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. Basically saying 2 words: great show. And I got to agree with him. I am definitely in the same boat. I think that this is a fire show so far. And if you guys huge shout out to Delilah HD. Hitting up that super chat in a major way. Thanks for your help, Xbox 448. It worked like a charm. #podcast. Yo, Delilah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, we're all a community here. If you ever need help with anything, I know the Next Podcast family has your back.
Yeah, just don't ask Mega.
Yo,
It'll be fine.
she is one of the most intelligent gamers I know. Yo, people need to check out GRG every Saturday. It is an awesome grown women GWG. I'm sorry, Delilah. Grown women gaming. Every weekend the podcast is absolutely incredible. But guys, moving on. All right. Sony is now allowing PlayStation owners to change their PSN names. Like they had it in a beta. There were certain warnings in the beta, like you could possibly lose like game saves. You could possibly lose even DLC, certain quirks, stuff like that. But they put it out there live for everybody. So if you have a PlayStation 4, you want to change your name, you can do so. But those stipulations are still there. So they weren't able to fix these things. Now they did say that these are games that came out before, I believe it was April 1st of last year. Or was it 2018 or 2017? Do you guys know? I think it might have been 2017.
When what?
Well, when they first announced,
No, because they're saying that games after April 1st, it might be 2018.
Oh yeah,
yeah, anything after like God of War.
Yeah, after God of War,
okay.
yeah.
Supposed to be like you good.
You don't have to worry about. But any of the games before that, there is a possibility, and they do say it's a small.
It's like the whole library.
Well, they say it's a small number of people that could experience these, but it is kind of weird to hear that there would be any kind of difficulties for changing your name. Now I know Knox, you have a PS4. What are the odds that you're gonna change your PSN like ID? You're gonna change your name?
Oh, nah, never. I got all my shit, universal. Everything Knoxximus 1. Knoxximus 1 on everything. On Steam, on Xbox, on PlayStation. So I definitely don't have any use. But if your name was, Captain Toilet Brush 47 and you want to change that shit, go ahead. You might want to risk, you might want to gamble losing your trophies and shit to change your name. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, what do you think about these risks? Like I thought, when they put it in the beta, that they would be there kind of like behind the scenes trying to fix everything.
I forget what it was. I knew back then, when they first started talking about it, I read an article. I just can't remember right now. There was some reason why, like, that it's an issue. I forget what was the explanation that they gave, but they trying. I don't know why it's some shit they just can't get right. I don't know, something with their code. I don't know what it is. Why they changing it gets unlinked.
You know what
somehow.
I think? I think for some rhyme or reason, when they made the structure of the PSN, they didn't link. Because you usually have to put an email in to kind of like.
Yeah, it's linked to your actual name and not your actual email.
And I think with changing
your tag, and that's why.
And I think with changing your PSN, you're not actually changing the core name, but you're putting kind of like a name over it, kind of like a mask. All right, so I feel like they told developers about what they were doing, so like the newer games kind of like accept that mask. But I feel like they had like a patch that they developed a patch for previous games, and it doesn't work. It might not work so well. I don't know. What do you think? Does that make any sense, Knox?
I mean, yeah, I think to a certain extent it does. Like I said, I think it may be that it's just tied into your gamer tag itself, like your account stuff. So everything is linked to that. So when you change that, it disrupts the system instead of it being actually just tied to your email account with your gamer tag being like a secondary thing. Mm. That's what I think it is. I'm not sure though, but I think it's something. So it could be that
Knox, Farscape in the chat is savage. He was like, they should be forced to carry those dumb names like a scarlet letter forever. That's savage, man.
To McLovin 4079.
Damn.
It's true, bro. I mean, dudes was putting stupid ass names up there. But
Well, they were young. Come on, man. Like,
yeah.
you know.
But yeah, they should be able to change it. I don't know why it's like I said. I think it's tied to the gamer
I
tag
think
things. Yeah,
I think what they're gonna do moving forward is because they let developers know about what their plans for the name change, and I think just moving forward, even into the PS5, I'm not sure if they're gonna go back and try to build it from the ground up again. But I think what they're doing is that kind of like mask or that kind of like layer over where you can change your name. I think it's going to be kind of like protocol when it comes to game development on the PlayStation. Like I think it is now and moving forward, which is why there's a date. There's like a date where it starts off. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it, but before then, you're like, I don't know, you might have issues there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
All right. Well, let's bring in a tech guy on this. Don, dude, what do you think about this PSN name change? And you heard kind of like my theory. Do you think that theory kind of holds any type of water here, or do you think I'm just coming up with stuff like out of the blue? Does my theory make sense here?
Or you're saying the base name stays the same, but some will accept the new name as a replacement.
It's like a cover. You know what I'm saying?
The thing is, networking's outside of my realm. To be totally honest with you, I can do some logic.
We gotta get some networkers in here, man.
I do a lot of 3D graphics, so like I don't want to speak totally out of turn on that, but compared to anything else that's networked, this is a standard practice we should be able to do by now. And I understand where gamers are coming from. Now, I think we talked about this when it was in beta form on this podcast, and my thought was, yeah, get it out, get it going. Buyer beware sort of situation.
Yeah.
And they put it all out there at that point because it was in an early form. It wasn't really available to the main public. It was select few. And that's where that's kind of my mentality was on it. Now that it's officially released and those things are not 100% polished out, no, I don't think this is appropriate, right? So it just depends on the context, right? Where they're at. I don't think it would have hurt them to wait another 6 months or another 8 months to get this all dialed in, to be honest with you. So,
so do you think they just kind of put it out there? I mean, like quicker than they should have. I'm thinking that there might not have been a fix except for this, and this is like the best that like they're putting out there. This is what they can do.
Yeah, it sucks if this is the best that they can do because there are people that have their whole entire library tied to your gamer tag. That's kind of a big deal. And I did it as a joke, but these are actually I'm not going to read them out loud. These are actual PSN names.
Talking about the one in the DM, dude.
Yeah, and I just posted the DM. So there's really bad ones out there. But
they got some bullshit.
That's what I was laughing about earlier. I was just like,
because a lot of times people are like, "Oh yeah, just let him be McLovin." I'm like, "Well, McLovin's not that bad." But you look at that list.
Yeah, there's some bad ones on there.
You look at that list, and you're like, "Oh hell no,
Sergeant!" Oh my goodness.
So
Tickle my pickle. Oh god.
Yeah, these are real ones. These are real PSN names. This is actually kind of funny.
Yo, Dark just picked like the nicest one out of all of
yeah,
those. Right
I was trying to pick the nicest one. I wasn't trying to go vulgar with it.
Yeah. So those are actual real PSN names that were screenshotted and they submitted on the kind of funny forms. Just so you guys know, those are real names on PSN. Somehow that made it through their filter. Let those guys change that.
Spider-Man said they should have left it alone. Like I feel that Spider-Man, if it comes down to it and you have the choice, I feel like the warnings are out there now. They are saying it is for a small number. So when it comes to Phase 23 Brooklyn, basically he said that he has 4,000 trophies, 150 games. He changed his name, and so far no problems, and that's great. And I feel like you'll be in the majority. You're not going to have those problems, which, we did state for a small number of gamers. It's just really odd that those problems exist. I mean, you gotta, if you're looking at things with common sense, it is pretty odd
it's a legal caveat in case things go wrong, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the idea. So my thing is they could have waited till it was even more polished. If people are having good experiences, I think they should express their honest experiences. When they have a bad experience, they should be very clear where they're having a bad experience, so individual gamers can decide. I mean, it sucks to put it on the gamer, but try not to read that list for 5 minutes there, guys.
No. Oh no, I'm looking at look at
Yeah, I was
Chris-
reading it for a little while there, and it was just
Christopher
cracking
Hart
up.
in the chat. Like he came up with a name that's golden right there, man.
So, but you guys get where I'm going. Like, I feel bad for those people that really made bad. People make bad choices. You have to have a road to redemption for people, right? Like that makes sense in society. And there's a lot of people have invested into their gamer tag, and some people, their whole library is going to be digital, right? Like going forward. You never know what's going to happen to GameStop. You never know if Walmart will stop.
I think we know what's going to happen to GameStop. By the way, I think we got a pretty good idea.
But you understand where I'm going with that,
Yeah.
right? So, like where I'm hinting. So, I mean, I think it's important they address it. I think it's important for the public to share. It shouldn't have to be on the public's shoulders. But if you're debating if it's worth it or not, just look what people say out there and look at all of it. Like, don't look at it under rose-tinted glasses. Look at the positive, look at the negative, and see where it goes, and kind of go from there. So, I didn't choose a name that I'm upset or angry about, so I'm usually good. But I always, defend the gamer on that sort of stuff, and kind of we want progress in regards to all this stuff.
It's so awkward to me. Like at the end of the day, you have the choice. You've been warned, so whatever you decide to do, that's your prerogative. I just feel weird that you have to look at this just a name change, and you have to look at such like possible kind of like downfalls to it. To me, that's absolutely. I'm astounded, man.
Well, I think they should have had some safety protocols from Sony's perspective. Hey, you lose your access to some of those games. Well, they should have a solution that you can manually give those games back to those people.
Wow, Pred, really? I looked at that name and I was like, who put that in there? And it says Predator right there, man.
I can go on and on all day
no.
chat with this.
Well, check this out. Dark, you have a PS4, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you changing your name or?
I already did. I changed my name because I want my name to be universal across the board. That's the only reason why I did it.
Too.
Yeah, I didn't do it for the reason of like, oh, I hate my name, I didn't like my name or anything like that. It was just I just wanted it so then people can find me easier, and they can just look on my Twitter and be like, oh, okay, Dark Optimus, I can find him on Xbox and I can find him on PlayStation.
Well, Dark, according to Predator, your name was Banana Hammock Bandit. That was your PSN before that. So.
No, it was not. It was something else, but I just, I did it because I didn't really care if I lost anything, honestly, because I don't really care about trophies or anything like that on PlayStation. All I care about is just being able to play the game anyways, and even if I lost save progress, I would just go back and probably play the game eventually, or I would never go back to the game. I mean, it just depends on the game. I can see a lot of people probably having problems. But I think it's like a really small minute of people having problems with them changing their name and stuff. But yeah, I didn't have any problems. I'm glad that they did it. I'm happy that they were like, okay, we're gonna allow you to change your name, because I mean Xbox has had that for what, since the 360 era. So
yeah, for a long while.
For a long time. So I mean, it's about time that they were able to figure out something to be able to allow you to change your name. And too many twos in that sentence. Two. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I was happy I was able to change my name. But as soon as I heard about it, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna change my name. I just wanted it to just be universal across the board, so then everybody can just find me on Xbox, PlayStation, and Twitter at the same name.
Okay. So. Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense. So Knox is good. He got the name that he wants. Now, Dark, You said you changed. Have you seen any difference, or are you in kind of like the mass majority, and you think you're
I
okay?
didn't. I think I'm okay. I didn't see anything change. I didn't see.
Uh oh. Hold on. He'll be right back.
Either way,
There
but
he
I
is.
did check my trophies, but yeah, I didn't see anything.
All right. So all right. So we got Predator. What do you think, brother? What do you think about this name change, man? And what do you think about kind of like the possible warnings? That's what blows my mind. Even though it's a small number of people, I feel like this is just a weird thing to have such kind of like possible repercussions for, man.
It sounds like one of those drugs you take at the end of the commercial. They read off all
Oh,
the
all
negative
those
side
possible
effects like
side
really
effects:
fast. Yeah.
erectile dysfunction.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it's an option. I'm glad that they finally figured it out. But I remember reading an article. I think Knox mentioned it earlier. There was an article out about why you couldn't do this. I think it has something to do with the infrastructure they created with the original PlayStation. So I think going forward, um, like I don't know if it's a free change. I know like Xbox, you have to pay like
Yeah, you
First
can.
time.
$15.
You get the first time free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's. I'm glad that they, something that the PlayStation gamers asked for.
Oh, and you could revert to the last name that you had before. So if you wanted to change it back, you can.
And see,
Oh,
that's
cool.
why I think that it's
Yeah, if
just
something
a
goes wrong.
mask. And that's why I feel like it's just a mask, and behind that name that you changed to, your original gamer tag is
It's always
there.
still there.
It's still there.
Exactly.
It's just kind of linked together behind the scenes. I mean, but you know what? It's something that those fans have asked for. I mean, it's not necessarily, um, a fan favorite like the way it is with the Xbox side, where it's just simple and easy to do. But it's something they wanted. They figured out a way to make it work, even though there's some caveats behind it. But good on them for finally getting that around. Like, it took them like 8 years to do it. Um, I mean, I don't really. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. Like you said, it's a small majority of the people who are gonna get affected by the change. But for what it
Yeah.
is, it's something. It's something. It's something that
I
they didn't
figure I
have.
had to say 50 times that it was a small number of people, just because after this show, after we're done with the show, I have a few people in the comment section that like to point out things and say that I'm completely one-sided and all that, and they'll say that I'm just talking about this because it's something negative when it comes to PlayStation. I don't necessarily look at it as negative, but
No, it's not negative at all.
I
I mean,
just
like
scratch my head
No,
as
yeah,
to
there's nothing
it's
negative
one of the
about
things.
it.
It's one of the features they've been asking
Yeah, there's
for.
nothing negative about it.
And they're finally getting it.
They're
So
just giving you a quick little disclaimer.
I mean, like, yeah, the one negative part is a small, minute version,
They give
sample
you a
of the
disclaimer.
people. So
yeah.
I don't think anyone should find pleasure into them not being able to change their names, like that's, or having these issues. Like that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's appropriate as a gamer. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good that they finally have the option. Hopefully, when we move into kind of like the newer hardware, the PlayStation 5 and stuff like that, hopefully they have people kind of working on the coding, like kind of at the foundation of PSN, to where they can get this kind of like fixed at the very bottom level, at the core level, that people don't even have to think about that kind of like moving forward. That's what I'm hoping for PlayStation gamers out there. Because some people,
I don't think it's gonna be an issue with newer games though. That's the thing. Like I don't think that's the problem.
so they drew that line, and basically
Yeah.
that's where it's gonna stand like moving forward. I can see that as well, man.
Yeah, so I don't really think that's an issue going forward. So that's the upside to all this. I mean, some of these names are so bad I can't even put them in the DM. Like that's how bad they are. Like
Yeah, it's pretty bad,
Dude,
man.
you could put anything in the DM. Trust me.
no, I cannot feel good about putting in those. That bad. So yeah, like, that's how bad they are.
All right. Well, guys, moving on from that, do you guys want to get into the heart of it? You want to get into the big topic for the night, and
Yeah, man.
let's see how
All
long
right,
that
get it.
rolls. Now, within recent history, it seems that there's a lot of people out there talking about Xbox and kind of voicing their displeasure, which I don't have a problem with. If you feel like a company needs to do certain things or stuff like that for you as a gamer, I'm willing to hear you, but also you got to remember that in this kind of like era of social media and kind of like people gravitating towards negativity, these kind of like these opinions and stuff really catch a wave. And me personally, I feel like this is getting to the point where the Xbox negativity is kind of it's taking away from what we have gotten this year or this generation when it comes to Xbox One. The whole thing about, well, Xbox has no games, or the whole thing about, well, when was the last new IP to come out and stuff like that. Now, I have been an Xbox One owner since 2013. I was happy with the Kinect. I liked what they were doing with Kinect Rivals and stuff like that. Unfortunately, a lot of gamers out there, they didn't feel it was necessary to have that and to move on. All right. When it comes to games, Halo 5 to me to this day has the best multiplayer. When it comes to first-person shooter, PvP, dude, to me to this day, nothing stands up to Halo 5 in terms of the multiplayer. And I feel like even the story, there was a lot of like highlights to the story that get downplayed because the marketing just it wasn't what the game was and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of this negativity is drowning out the experiences that we have had on Xbox One, and possibly people who are thinking about getting an Xbox One, they're hearing all this kind of like negative feedback, and it'll get them not to check out like Quantum Break or Sunset Overdrive or get into these experiences that I have had since 2013 that I've enjoyed. So I want to ask you guys what you think about this whole kind of like this negativity kind of like wave that's been hitting out here in terms of YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. And I know everybody on the panel wants to be the first one that I ask this question to, but I'm gonna go to Pred first. Pred, what do you think about this wave of negativity? Do you think that this is deserving? And do you hear what I'm saying? That like I feel like the more and more that this wave builds up, it like waters down the experiences we have had throughout this generation, which I feel have been quality games, quality experiences, ever since 2013. But what do you think, man?
I'm gonna give you two different angles to this answer, right? So, first of all, the gamer angle, right? So, if you're a gamer, you don't hear that noise. You hear from your fan base of your passionate gamers. So if you're a PlayStation guy and that's all you play with is PlayStation people, then you're gonna hear nothing but pro PlayStation stuff. And if it's something negative within the PlayStation community, you're gonna hear it from your fans and your friends because you're all in the group. And that's the same thing with the Xbox fans. So for something that bothers us Xbox fans, we're gonna hear about the negative aspect of it as Xbox fans because we're all fans. We're all, passionate gamers about our console of choice. So you're not going to hear just the good. You're going to hear the bad too. And it's going to spread like wildfire because we all game together. Now, the other aspect of it is who are you following? Who are you listening to? Who do you talk to on Twitter? Who are your friends? And what do you see in your news feed? That makes a big part because like if you're following just pro Xbox guys, you're gonna get tagged and shit from other people. Like I noticed that about Twitter because I've only been on Twitter for maybe like 2 years, 3 maybe, and it's like I follow a lot of Xbox guys and I follow a lot of PlayStation guys too, and I see a lot of negative stuff from the PlayStation fans and they're tagging other PlayStation fans, and then when it pertains to Xbox, and I hear the same thing from pro Xbox guys tagging people on that have posted stuff for the pro PlayStation guys. Like if it's negative to feed the war, then I want to see it in my news feed. So like you have to kind of learn how to
I hear you.
You have to learn how to filter out the bullshit. And it's like, and I've said this before, be a smarter consumer, right? Like you can't just listen to the fanboys. You got to listen to, to me, again, I'm a finance guy. I listen to the money. So like, I don't just listen to the gamers and stuff like that. I look at things in different layers, and some people out there do. So like, I follow what I think makes sense to me, not just what my friends and peers are saying on social media. So like if you're following pro Xbox guys on social media, you're gonna hear negative stuff about PlayStation. If you're like me and I have a mixture of both, I see a lot of negative Xbox stuff too. So if you're talking about just within the Xbox community, and I'll just kind of single it into that point, I do think that sometimes we're passionate people. I've seen the leaks recently about, E3 already. I don't know if that's on the topic list. I don't see it on here, but like I've seen those leaks already. It's too soon for that shit, but like, some people are already bashing that. Is it not being, enough? But like, those are the passionate hardcore guys. And there's a small sample of us, right? Like the casual market is what leads the charge. The hardcore, the guys that are listening to podcasts every Saturday and Wednesday and Friday, stuff like that. Like those are the minority right now. And if you follow just the minority, you're gonna get their passionate version of everything. So like you're not gonna get the full scope of everything. So I would say like tune that tune that microscope out a little bit, pull that telescope back and look at the big picture of gaming instead of just focusing in on just one console and listening to this one fan base, because then you're going to get just the toxic news.
Pred, I will say when it comes down to it, this is what I've noticed this generation. And yes, I am on social media. Before I was really on Twitter. I was on Facebook a lot in gaming groups and stuff. So yeah, I've seen.
I was on MySpace, so there you go.
Yeah, and you're still there, man. But this is what I've noticed. Like PlayStation will talk about Xbox, and one of the things, it's kind of like a double-edged sword when it comes to the Xbox community. Not only will the Xbox community get excited about games, but they are also incredibly critical as well.
I was the biggest critics, man. The biggest critics are Xbox guys.
So
man.
It's like, where Sony fans, like at the beginning of this generation, when they were getting like, smaller titles, they were getting the bigger games like Uncharted were getting pushed back and stuff like that, they praised what they were getting. And they held that up, infamous Second Son.
And I think Knox said this last night too. Like he said this on, I think it was Crossfire last night. He was like, those PlayStation guys, dude, it doesn't matter if that game sucks. They'll ride for that shitty ass game till death do us part, man. And they won't say shit negative about the console. Where Xbox guys, man, if something bad comes out, they will fucking be vocal as fuck. And they will talk about that shit to the ends of the earth, to Westeros and beyond. They will just discuss that shit all day, and we'll fight amongst ourselves about it instead of just being like, "Oh, that shit sucks. Let's just not talk about this at all. Let it wash under the rug. We'll just hype it. We'll just keep talking about it. It'll be on podcasts. It'll be on our Twitter feed. How shitty this game was, and we talk about it amongst ourselves. So of course now we're dragging in the PlayStation fanboys into the argument too, and they're tagging us and screenshotting and shit, and they're making us look bad. So like the Sony guys don't do that shit. If shit sucks, they shut the fuck up. They just fucking go on and brag about some shit, console sales or something, until to the end of the day, man. But we fuck ourselves over because we talk we're so, I guess, so passionate about our console of choice that we voice our opinion more.
I feel that a lot of people in the community, and I'm not saying the people on the chat, and I'm not gonna like point fingers or whatever, but I feel like a lot of them also got caught up in that narrative as well. Like where they're on Twitter and they're hearing it so much that all of a sudden, like they're like, I guess I really didn't like Sunset Overdrive that much.
Well, we feel like we have to defend ourselves. You're right, because we're always getting bashed on. It's like you're that kid getting picked on when you're 5 in the schoolyard, and everybody's bigger than you, and so you feel like you have to fight, and you really don't. You just enjoy the games you're playing, but we don't take that mentality. We feel like we have to stand up for ourselves in our purchase because we have so many. We have 90 million fucking fans coming at us from the PlayStation side, and it's like. We feel like we have to stand up in the fucking ring and just fucking go toe to toe with all these motherfuckers. And we really don't. I mean, you spent the money on it. It ain't our fault. They can't afford that shit. Like this. You spent your $500 on your Xbox One X console. Be happy with your purchase. Don't second guess yourself.
Yeah, dude, you invested in this gaming experience. Now, I know like recently they've gone through kind of like, they put their money into hardware. They came out with the S, they came out with the X. People out there, they might not like the offering of like Sea of Thieves, but Sea of Thieves is growing exponentially by from when it released down to the end of this month. There's going to have so much more content in that game.
Even my wife plays the game.
Dude, yeah. And dude, like I've seen it for the first time in HDR, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this looks absolutely incredible.
You're missing out,
dude. Yeah,
He was missing out for a while.
yeah, but shout
yeah,
out to Yobi, my brother Yobi out there, man. Yeah, and HDR is a big deal. Like 4K, yeah, that's all well and good. You know me, I'm not a big resolution person. Of course, 4 times.
You are now.
Well, 4 times the resolution, it does look nice, but that HDR, that's the game changer right there, man.
Yeah,
That's
it really is.
That's where you see kind of like the depth in the shadows.
That's where you get moist at right there.
Oh man, a little bit. Yeah, hold on. No, I'm good. I'm not gonna go there right now. But
Leave it to Pred.
Makes you moist.
But like my whole thing, and I'm definitely gonna move on to somebody else on the panel. Like I said, I feel like people have kind of succumbed to this negative attitude to where games that are really good, really fun to play, like Sunset Overdrive, that got hammered over resolution, or even Quantum Break, which was an awesome story experience. I thought it could have been longer. I felt like it was a little short. My first playthrough, I did it with the TV show and the gameplay. I thought it was a different way to look at and play games, so I was really into that, and the story was freaking cool. And I feel like it's getting all watered down now, and to the point where people who are new to the system, they're hearing like possibly a bunch of negative about games that they might really enjoy, because the narrative right now is all negativity. I don't know. Yo, Knox, what do you think about that, man?
I don't know if it's all negativity, but
dude, we have no games.
It's definitely a lot of Xbox fans feel as though Microsoft isn't towing the line, bro, when it comes to putting out quality exclusive products.
Dude, what is up with the whole comparison though? See, this is the thing, and this is something that if a lot of those PlayStation guys, like the people who are really go out there and speak the loudest when it comes to PlayStation or whatever, it's always something great about like their system. I don't understand the comparison when it's like, well, we don't have like a God of War or anything like that, but I feel like there were certain narratives with games that we have had that have chopped them down incredibly. Now people are saying, yeah, well, they just weren't that good. And I'm like, really? Because I had a lot of fun playing these games, and I thought they were really good games. I don't have any kind of...
I thought Sunset Overdrive was a good game. I don't particularly like it, but I do think it was a quality product. You know what I'm saying? I ended Quantum Break, and I enjoyed that game very much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But still, I wanted to see better. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the stuff that we were waiting for, like, like Sea of Thieves. I wanted to be blown away by that shit, and I wasn't. It was very underwhelming. It was very subpar. Beautiful looking, but I was like, all right, whatever. They dropped the ball on this one. Then with that State of Decay joint, I'm like, all right, yo, let me check this shit. It's gonna be hot, yo. It seems very interesting. I like the premise of the game. I think it could be dope. And boom, another piece of shit. Or you fucking glitching all over the map. It's all, like buggy and shit. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? The cumbersome user interface and all that, and the constant patches and shit. It's certain shit, man, that just got fans of Microsoft that truly, are fans a little pissed off, a little like, disappointed, bro. Like, come on, bro, you can do better. I want to see the power of my X. What did I buy it for? Just for a little, little graphical upgrade. I never thought it was a big deal when it was 1080p versus 900p with the PS4. I still thought the shit on my Xbox was dope. I was playing Rise, you know what I'm saying? I was playing Titanfall.
Gears.
You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, yeah, Gears. You know, so you know, I never thought it was a problem then. So to me, it's not a big deal. I thought I was gonna be able to get options like, you know, all right, 60 FPS and 1080p and shit like that, and got into it a couple of things, but for the most part, everything just stood, you know, the same across the board. Just and I'm like, damn, it wasn't even worth it. So for that, since I still got this X, I'll ride that shit into the next gen. And whatever, if Halo Infinite, which is what I'm interested in, is going to be on there, they got to kill it, man. Microsoft gotta just bring it at this.
Oh,
at this
dude, I'm hearing some craziness when it comes to Halo Infinite right now. Like,
they got to kill it with that, bro. And with that and Gears 5, bro, I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with those two franchises. And again, man, I'm hyped. You know what I mean? Like, make it worth it. Show me why I want to, you know, continue to invest in the Xbox ecosystem, bro.
You know, I hear you on that, Knox, and you know,
And
you
I
weren't
got a lot invested in that shit.
you weren't happy with, like, you know, the recent offerings, you know, when it comes to Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, I believe Crackdown as well, and so I can see that. What I'm saying here is that the negativity has boiled over so much that I feel like people are kind of like trying to adopt the fact that we have had nothing this generation. Like, Xbox has given us absolutely nothing, and I can't see that, man.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. It gave us, like I said, it gave us Titanfall. It gave us Rise, Son of Rome. I wish there was a sequel.
Gears.
It gave us Gears.
Sunset, Forza a couple times.
If you are a racer, hold on.
Forza.
If you are a racing gamer, the Xbox is the system to get with all the quality racers that we have had on this system, and we have on this system. And
it's not even I know the jokes are a niche category, but it really isn't. It's an extremely successful franchise.
dude, it's
And
international.
It's very niche. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
but it is extremely successful. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, it is more mainstream than people want to give credit for. I know all jokes aside, like, I like to have a good joke too, but I mean, that's a huge franchise. I don't think anyone gives it the time.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right, Don.
So,
Well, Don, what do you think about this? I'm pretty sure, like, I know you try to kind of like section it off. You're a part of social media as much as I am. You know, we get together, we talk about stuff, you know, on Xbox Live with either, you know, fans that are like from YouTube or just other gamers out there. I know you have heard this before. Like, do you feel like this wave of negativity, like, Xbox deserves it, like, as much as it's like, as it's built up, man?
no, I've never shared the same feelings as the negativity that's out there. You know, and people are entitled to their opinion. Like, I try not to shut people up or anything like that. I just try to give them factual things and, you know, try to frame things properly. But no, I've never felt as negative as what the majority of the people feel out there. I've been happy with my purchase since purchase one, and continue to be happy. Doesn't mean I don't want.
Halo 5 is where I met you, Don. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't mean I don't want to have better experiences. I mean, that doesn't negate that or anything like that. I want them to continue to push and compete in that space, but also there's certain things I like about Xbox that are unique. I mean, their games are diverse. I really like the fact that they're diverse. They have different types of games for different types of gamers, and I really like that about the platform. It's something very unique about the platform. Doesn't mean the PlayStation has bad library. They have a great library.
dude, and we always have to put that disclaimer in. It's like, I like the diversity of Xbox games, but I'm not trying to say PlayStation doesn't have a games library.
Well, that's the sad thing too, right? Like, there's this like insecurity with what
you can't say that.
Yeah, that's the thing, is there's this huge insecurity of what games people like or don't like, right? And so when you say you like something, then they automatically assume the worst, that like, hey, you're just saying this is bad. No, we're not saying that's bad at all. Maybe you shouldn't jump to that conclusion. We're finding more enjoyment in a different place than you. Doesn't mean that console is a bad console. I mean, there's some things that on the PlayStation side I wish they would change too. But they have to make their decision. They have to make the decision for their audience, and that's how it goes. But I always try to, like, there's certain games that, for example, I didn't like the changes of God of War. I know it's an unpopular thing, but I don't try to get people to not enjoy the game because it's a good game. It really is a good game. There's really talented people that worked on it. It just the changes weren't for me, and I acknowledge that, and I acknowledge that I'm the minority in that particular
Yeah, but
situation.
dude, when you say something like that, with it being a PlayStation game and with the position that PlayStation is right now, like when I say I don't like what they've done with God of War, like people come at me, yo, game of the year, and stuff like, and I'm like, dude, like a car can win, like sports car of the year. It doesn't mean that I have to naturally gravitate towards that. Like if I'm a Porsche fan, if I like what Porsche brings to the table,
Is
you
is
know,
that you know what it is, but is that you're a gamer and other gamers look at you and see the choices of the games that you play. So for you to not like God of War is kind of like like unbelievable a little bit. You know what I mean? You're like, what? You're like you like dope ass games. How could you like Crackdown and not like God of War? That like I can't make
You
that
know why?
connection.
You know
Well, why do
why? I'll,
say
no, hold
the
on.
game seems
I'll
to
tell Knox why real quick. This is the reason why. When it comes to Crackdown, when I played Crackdown, when I got in and I played Crackdown, it felt like Crackdown, but today. All right. When I look at what they're offering with God of War, and again, I feel like this has been an issue with me with PlayStation throughout this entire generation. I feel like they have made a successful development blueprint from The Last of Us, and they've kind of replicated it with their first party studios. And I like the old Kratos that was jumping around, that had crazy combos, upgrading your weapons to a crazy extent.
You
Having
got all of that in this God of War, my dude. You got all of
It's
that.
Dude,
it's not the same. That's the
it's
same
not
thing.
the
With,
same. The
it's the same
speed,
thing with the whole
everything
Assassin's
is
Creed.
not the same.
I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same, but it has to evolve. That's the problem with Xbox.
To me, it's not an
Everything is
evolution if they're
See,
slowing it down.
no, so you're
You see
talking
what
about
I'm
the same
saying?
problem. You're talking about the problem that we're chatting, right? People can't have a view if they like or dislike something without feeling like that's attacking their favorite game, and
Okay.
like, and that shouldn't be the case. Like,
All right.
for example,
I'm just saying, even if it didn't have the God of War skin and it would have been skinned something completely different, a new IP, that gameplay is dope, is my point.
I don't think anyone's saying that it's not,
But
and
that's
no one's saying it's a
me,
bad game.
I can't understand somebody not liking it. I mean, I guess that's crazy of me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's certain things people love and they get attached to it. Like, here's the thing: like me and Bot met on Halo, right? We love the art style of Halo 5. I love the art style of Halo 4 much better than the previous Halos, hands down. There are people that literally 3 times a week will make videos about how the new art style sucks about the new Halo, and I don't share that opinion. Matter of fact, they go out of their way. They get like 44,000 views. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that really feel that way. And I wasn't really exposed to it like that because they're attached to the way something is, and sometimes they don't like the way things change. And sometimes games change, and they change without you. Like that's the harsh reality. Sometimes they have to make changes, and they may not appeal to their original audience anymore. They would hope they carry as many as those people over to the next game, but it's not always guaranteed that's going to happen. And so in the case of the God of War, I love God of War. I love the original franchise. We know it was having issues.
The speed and the agility. Hold on, Knox. The speed and the agility of the original franchise is what got me into it. All right. Now, when you look at what they're doing with this God of War, and granted, I'm not saying it's not a good game for people who like it. All right. I never said like. For me though, they slowed it down. It's less agile, and with that, I don't look at it as an evolution into what that core game was, but something totally different, and it turned me off.
Which is fine. That's the thing.
You played it though, like you really.
But have you played it though? This is the thing.
But that's the thing. It's why can't a game change and with that change that hey, someone may not like that game, and then that's would be okay because it's for a different audience now. Like that's
what
fine.
I'm thinking. Like,
yeah, that's totally okay, and that comes down to
I guess it's the same, right? Because you guys don't like the change, right? It wasn't for you. For me, I was bored. If they would have released another God of War, the old style, the over the top, quick gameplay, you just killing mobs and stuff, and I wouldn't have bought it. Like that. I was glad that they reinvented the franchise. And I want to see that going forward with like Halo, like they doing right now.
You don't understand. No one's taking that away from you. Like that is your view. That's your opinion. That's what you enjoy. That's cool. We're not telling God of War to go back to the old stuff.
No,
we just signed off and we decided to play another PlayStation title instead.
exactly.
Like that's all it is. So that's what it comes right down to is why do people need some sort of reinforcement for the games that they actually enjoy? Just enjoy them. I think that's the bottom line of these conversations. If there's something about these games you don't like them, it doesn't mean you can't express it and get it over with. It is where I'm kind of at, and move on to something you do enjoy.
But like I said, like what's going on here now? Granted, PlayStation within the recent couple of years kind of like dropped their entire load. You know what I'm saying? All the games that were delayed or were shown at E3 for a few years in a row finally came out.
Yeah, so, well then that's gonna happen.
That's good. That's good strategy.
How is that good strategy? Like when it came down to and see that's
it kept people on the hook. It kept people on PlayStation waiting for these games to drop. And when they did drop, they were very satisfied with them. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft wants to Microsoft really has to abolish that whole not wanting to announce shit that isn't 18 months out. That gotta stop. They gotta just
I said that as well, man. I said that as well.
Yeah, they gotta show you, yo, boom, this is what's coming down the pipe. This is why you need to be excited about, you staying on the X or coming forward, to Anaconda and Lockhart and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta get me open to do that because I already got an X, so I'll just stay here if I ain't got no reason to really cop, the next hardware.
Here's the thing. I feel like I am critical of Xbox with certain things. All right, I feel like I can look at what Xbox is offering, and I can criticize. But my whole thing is when I'm criticizing it, or like when I'm talking about my opinion of Xbox, that wave of negativity that's out there right now. If I'm not absolutely hating everything that's coming out of Xbox, I get attacked for liking things from the Xbox. You see what I'm saying?
It's an insecurity thing because if they don't like it, you have to not like it, right? And that's why I keep trying to point out. The reason why I always bring up the God of War reference is because I know it's a very beloved game. I know it's a very good game, right? But it is controversial amongst people that are God of War fans. I mean, it is. Just like any major franchise that has a huge following where they make a major change, it will be controversial if it's success or not. So the point is, like, you guys can enjoy what you guys want to enjoy, but I don't try to get a validation of my purchases through other individuals. It's just something that gamers shouldn't have to do. But I think people fall into that trap, and I think Bot's right in that particular case. Like, I remember people liking Quantum Break, loving it, bragging about it in party chat.
Yeah.
And I remember all the negativity that flew after it. And
I remember shit out of Quantum Break.
But I also remember people after about 3 months after being out and people, talking crap on it, all of a sudden saying, "Oh, that game was awful," and then they will say things like, "Hey, they could have done better." Yeah, they always could have done better, but didn't you enjoy the game when you played it?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly, man.
I did, but it could have been tightened up. But I enjoyed it.
It could have been, but I'm just saying that influence is constantly creeping into people's enjoyments or memories of the game, and that's unfortunate. I don't think that's very pro. I mean, from one gamer to another, that's not very pro gamer. Like, as I bring up before, I mean, God of War, I want people to enjoy that game. I want people to actually play it. And and people, I'll tell people it's different.
My whole thing with like
I'm just saying, man, you can't tell me you enjoying Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, and Crackdown, but you're not enjoying Spider-Man, God of War.
Dude, Spider-Man was a letdown.
That doesn't make any sense, Knox.
Man,
That doesn't make any sense because people are gonna like some games, some people are not gonna like others.
Come on, you're gonna hate every dope shit on the rival platform.
You've seen my
see,
Twitter feed.
hold on.
I don't do that. I play Spider-Man. I bought Spider-Man 4 bot. I've done other things.
Dude,
I mean,
I felt so, and
Don,
I felt so bad that that Spider-Man turned me off. Like, dude, you guys got to remember, I was the one hyping up Spider-Man before it launched.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, bot,
Right.
probably more Spider-Man than
And
bot,
people
right?
for-
Like, it's like
People
just
forgot about that, man. So when I said,
I haven't copped it, and I'm gonna cop it because now it's in the price range that I said I was gonna wait for it to be.
oh,
like
dude, yeah, Knox, I remember
30
you said
yuccas.
that.
Remember, I said that, right? I'm gonna wait for it to hit like 30 yuccas or the $20 bin and shit and pick. I am gonna pick it up because I played it.
so why can I have it?
I
I
don't know how you like Sunset Overdrive and not Spider-Man.
It's a different game.
It's a different game.
I mean,
dude.
but it's in the same realm. You know what I mean? Like it's in the same.
All right, but see, here's the
You know what I
deal.
mean?
Hold on. I got one for you, Knox. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like
First-person
anything
shooters.
Xbox puts
Hold
out
on.
either. You know?
First-person shooters. I love Halo. I hate
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Me too.
But that's in the same realm, though, brother. It's in the
Okay,
same
but-
realm. So how can you not like one but love the other?
Well,
It's
I
the
like
same
Destiny
thing.
1 and I don't like Destiny 2. Like, that stuff happens.
What I'm saying is very damn.
It's the same thing, bro.
But the entire rival platform, you feel that way about.
No.
Dude,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love.
Why are you,
Hold on.
See, Knox,
I
first
love
off,
Infamous
Knox,
Second Son. I
Knox,
thought
you're
that
being
was
a
great.
liar.
God of War 3
You're being a liar.
remastered.
So,
All right, Ratchet and Clank. That Concrete Genie game coming out. That looks really cool. And I wanted to play Neo as well.
Knox, 1 or 2 or 3 games doesn't represent a whole entire platform. There's games I like on that platform. There's games I don't like on the Xbox platform. If you actually listen to the things I'm saying, you would understand that.
My dude, I feel you. I'm just saying, it's funny when you
It's
hate.
not funny. You're not being truthful.
When
And
you
you're
don't.
insecure about what you like or what you don't like.
I'm not insecure about anything, brother.
Well, you're making up stuff, are you?
I'm not making up anything.
Yeah, you are. You said
No.
I hated every game on the competing platform.
I'm just generalizing.
Play.
Bro. I'm just
But
generalizing.
generalizing is not. There's no.
I'm
there's
saying, and you
There's no premise for this though.
the games
That's
that are
what I'm
most talked about, the games that are most like hyped up for the rival platform than the one that you prefer, because if we're gonna play, you know, that these sides things, right? You know, PS4, Xbox shit, y'all do that. Y'all don't
But
like you don't like.
But there's games I don't like on the Xbox platform either. I don't like State of Decay.
State of Decay sucks.
But I never talk trash on it either because it's for other people. That's the same thing with this. I'm not talking trash about God of War. I don't say it's a bad game. As a matter of fact, I recommend it.
It wasn't for him.
It wasn't for me, and that's the problem. We can't have this conversation because you can't allow someone to actually not like a game that's possibly a good game.
I'm not saying that, bro. You could dislike whatever you dislike. I'm just saying I'm like, I find it hard to believe that y'all don't like it, but that's just me. I'm just saying I think them games are so dope. Like the gameplay, the mechanics, the way they function, the way they I think they're hot.
And to be honest with you,
I didn't like Sunset Overdrive or fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't like Overdrive. I didn't. But I did like Spider-Man.
And to my defense, and I think like to me, I'm not a big superhero game genre person. Like I don't play a lot. I'm not into comics and stuff like that. Like I'll watch some of the movies, not all of them. Like I'm still behind on the what's the fucking Infinity War shit. I haven't watched hardly any of that stuff. Like all my friends have watched it, but I haven't. So jumping into Spider-Man, which I love the character, I love the comic book character, but like I've never been into Spider-Man video games. And when I got it, I bought it, I have it. I've played like maybe fucking 20% of it, and I hated it. But it feels like Sunset Overdrive to me with webs, and I hated Sunset Overdrive. So that's just me. But like there's so many games I like. There's so many games I praise. I like God of War. I hated Spider-Man. I've never played Last of Us. I've heard it was like someone who knows
Dude,
knows the
I
type of
could
games I'm
not get
into.
into Last of Us, man. The
Yeah,
beginning part was absolutely amazing.
yeah. Some people who know what I game, what I like to play, tell me not to get that game, and I haven't gotten it because they know my
Not
taste in game.
last because I said Last of Us. Like I didn't like that. He's
Uh,
like, see, I told
all of
you.
them. Hate all of them.
But when I say I don't like a game, it's not because that's just my opinion of the game. It's not what I think the consensus is. It has nothing to do with the fanboy war or anything like that.
Not
Like I have every
not a
console.
reflection of the
I
quality,
didn't like
right?
Zelda, and that
Well,
was game of the year. I wasn't a big fan of
Zelda
Zelda.
Breath of the Wild.
Pred,
Like I didn't
your
think it was. I didn't think
gamer
it
card is revoked.
See,
I like the other Zeldas. I just didn't like this one. I just
dude,
wasn't
Link.
into it.
I think Link's Awakening is gonna be so much better than Breath of the Wild. Yeah. I really do. I do. It's more like it's like a Link to the Past in like the way I see like the gameplay, but brought up to like kind of like today's standards. And I'm really looking forward to playing Link's Awakening. I played Breath of the Wild and I thought it was okay. I wasn't like it didn't compel me that like yo I had to play this like day in and day
Yeah,
out. You know what I'm saying?
it's true. I always say I'm gonna play it. I picked it up once, like jumped around a little bit and went in a
And you're like,
temple.
yo, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Right?
was like, that's pretty dope. Put it down. I never picked it back
Never
up
picked
again.
it right back up again. Yeah.
I'll probably
I can honestly say, like, even with like most of the Nintendo Switch games this generation, like I love Mario Kart. I'm still kind of on the fence with Odyssey. I wasn't a big fan of Zelda. Like their offerings, and I think to me, and even though I know there's a lot of huge Nintendo Switch guys out there now that came out of the woodworks from somewhere that love those games, I think I've outgrown those franchises and I've just moved on from them. So they weren't for me. Even though I think there could be decent games, I put the time and effort into it. I still feel like putting the time and effort into it. I want more realistic games. That's just me. But I still have a Switch. I still buy games for it. I still play the games. Still support the system. But like Knox and Don were kind of arguing, going back and forth about it a little bit. Like each gamer has their own set of games. Each gamer has their own set of skill set. And so you can't sit here and generalize and say, oh, every person is a gamer has to like these certain games. I'm a gamer. I have PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and PS4. And there are certain genres on
hold
each
on,
system I just don't like.
Well, it's
hold on.
kind of
Dark. Just one
sorry.
second,
Yeah,
man.
go ahead.
I was
Go ahead.
actually going
My
to get
bad.
you to chime in as well, but Christopher Hart basically says like after games like Scalebound got canceled and other crap at Xbox, dude, 2 games got canceled on Xbox platform this generation, and that was Fable Legends and Scalebound. I'm
And you know
already
what?
over it. I'm over it.
If they were trash, if for whatever reason Phil Spencer canceled them, he canceled them. That's what's up. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that's not a big deal. You know what I mean? My thing is don't let, because you made those cancellations, don't let that scare you into not wanting to announce stuff.
I think some of those cancellations were mutual things, though. Especially the Scalebound one. I think that was a mutual thing, and Lionhead was just closed down. Lionhead, I think they were done from the beginning. They were just kind of like, we don't want to make games anymore. I think they just wanted to shut down.
Let's see if they come with a Fable.
Well, yeah, Fable is in the works. What I'm trying to say here, and this is Dark. This is where I definitely want you to chime in on this. Is like I feel like this wave of negativity. If you don't like the recent offerings, I can understand that. But I feel like this wave has gotten so big that people are like basically turning to the Xbox had nothing this entire generation, and it's like, well, if they had nothing, what was I playing since 2013 as a gamer and enjoying the hobby that I love? If there was nothing there, you see what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing. In order to understand why I enjoy my Xbox way more now than I did back then, I have to explain why I got an X. So the reason why I got an X is because my S, I don't know, for some reason, I don't know if it was the games that I was playing on it or just the TV that I have. The games were starting to look in the background for me. I don't know if for a lot of people, I know a lot of people will argue with me about it, but for me, in the background of my games, a lot of the games, the background started to look blurry to me. So when I picked up my X and started playing the other games, like when I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins at the time, that game looked blurry in the background on my S, and then when I upgraded it to my X, I was blown away. I was just like, oh my god, dude, this is like completely different from what I've seen before, you know. But you guys also have to realize, like, we get to a point where we get used to seeing these games on our consoles. You know, you're not going to be blown away anymore. You're not going to be blown away to the point where you're like, oh my god, this game looks freaking amazing. You know, you're not
Dude,
going to have
I was
those.
blown away with HDR and Forza Horizon 4.
And
I will say that my jaw dropped.
you got blown away because of the fact that you weren't used to seeing HDR. But once you get used to seeing HDR and seeing that kind of stuff, you're not going to be as blown away as you were when you first saw it. You know, and I think a lot of people just want it to be that same thing over and over again. You know, they want it to be, oh, I'm blown away every single time I get a game. I'm blown away. You know, and for some of us that'll happen. For some of us that won't happen, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And I think as well, like we're sitting here and we're talking about, you know, PlayStation games and Xbox games, and comparing the two, and seeing the negatives on either side. For me, there was a lot of games that I enjoyed on both consoles this generation. I enjoyed a lot of games on Xbox. The reason why I bought an Xbox is because of Sunset Overdrive, and I loved that game. That game was amazing. I bought it for
the humor, the
Master
weapons.
Chief, right? Exactly. For I bought it for Master Chief Collection as well, because I love the Halo franchise. I'm right there with you, Bot. You know, Halo is king. You know, and it always will be to me. You know. And
that shit was broke. You're right, brother.
It was broke in the terms of multiplayer, yes. But for me, I love the story campaigns of Halo.
That Halo 2 anniversary.
So that
people don't talk about
dude.
that, man.
That Halo 2 anniversary, bro. Oh my god, I flipped the lid because I was like switching it back and forth, and I was just like, oh my gosh,
they did
a fantastic
job rebuilding that game.
They did a fantastic job, you know. And there's a lot of games on PlayStation that I love too. And there was, you know, I love Spider-Man. I get why Bot and why Don, you guys didn't like that game. I respect that you guys didn't like it. And I respect you guys for not liking it.
I liked Spider-Man. I really did. So
okay. Well, I didn't know if you did.
Perfect example is some of us like it, some of us don't.
Yeah,
right?
we have different opinions, and that's how we have to look at it, is that we have different opinions on things, and if we don't like something, that's okay. You know, there's a lot of people who don't like Sekiro right now, and they're wanting it to be an easy mode. They want this, they want that, and it's like, guys, like, can't we just have a game and play it and like playing it because that's what we like playing, you know? Like, I'm sure there's a lot of games that you guys like that I don't like. You know, I played Persona 5. I like that game. And I know there's a lot of guys on this panel who played it and didn't like it, you know? like I know Mega, he played it. He didn't really like it as much, you know? He was just kind of like, whatever, you know? It was an okay game, you know? But for me, I enjoyed the game. I thought it was fun. You know, there was times where I was like, this is kind of getting too much into the high school realm that I didn't like about it, but I still enjoyed the game enough, you know, to warrant me to keep playing it. You know, and I think we're at a time where we are trying to defy why we bought these consoles. We should stop defining why we bought these consoles and just play the games that are on them, because there's a lot of games on Xbox that are fantastic and look good on Xbox. Yes, granted, a lot of them are multiplats, they're not exclusives, but that's the thing. Like, if you're buying a console for its exclusives alone, I don't feel like that's the right way of looking at buying a console.
It's not the exclusives alone, dog.
I'm not talking about you, Knox. I'm not talking about you.
I know. I'm just saying, and you know, for
right, but
people,
let me finish what I'm saying, because I want to get this out before you chime in, okay? You know, when we're buying these consoles and getting these exclusives, that's fine and dandy, but once that's all said and done, what are we playing? We're playing the multiplats, right? Most of us, what do we play? We play multiplat games. So where are we going to play them? We're going to play them on the console of our choice, of the choice that we like. For me, the best thing that I have in my hands is a controller, right? What do I like about the Xbox One? It's the controller. I love that controller. I don't like it so much for Sekiro because Sekiro it uses the bumpers to do the combat and stuff like that. I know you can remap those buttons, but you have to remap the whole entire controller in order to utilize it to your liking. And I don't feel like I should have to do that, with that game. But that's just a little gripe that I have with the game, but I'm still playing it with the bumpers and everything, and I'm still having a blast with that game. So it's like we're prejudging all these games and saying that there's Sony's God and Xbox doesn't have any exclusives when most of us are playing third-party games. Like we're not playing
That's true.
exclusives a lot of the time.
If you look on the most played games, right? The most played game
They're
list
third
when
party.
it comes to PlayStation and
most of them
Xbox,
are Fortnite.
Yeah,
It's mostly Fortnite.
They're all
For most people.
multiplayer.
Yeah, it's all multiplayer.
All these god tier games that people talk about, that people are enjoying so much, they're not
Right.
even on that list, like, of people playing them.
Because a lot of them are single player experiences that we play them, we love them. Yes, a lot of us love them, but once it's all said and done, we're not going to go back to playing that game after we're completely done with it. Once because a lot of us either want to 100% it, or a lot of us just want to play through the story. The ones who want to play through the story, they're done with the game. They're not going to go back and play all the other side stuff and do all that and get all the trophies that they could possibly get. The people who are the 100% people are going to do that. But once they're done with the game, what are they going to be playing? They're going to be playing a multi-plat game. Guaranteed, it's going to be something that's probably,
Right.
a multiplayer type of game.
Now, Knox, what were you going to chime in with, man?
No, I was going to say, that's absolutely right. So if I can get third party on both, right? What's going to sway me to go in one direction or go in the other? You know what I'm saying? If I can only
your preference, it's up to your preference, dude. It doesn't really have anything to do with what console is going to sway you either direction.
Dark,
it's really about your preference of how
Knox
you like the interface on Xbox, or you like the interface on PlayStation, or you like the controller on Xbox, or you like the controller on PlayStation. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it really matters, because I think if you want to play on PlayStation, you're going to play there. That's where you're going to play. If you want to play on Xbox, that's where you're going to play your games. It doesn't really matter where you really play your games, because guess what? Either one of those consoles are making money off of you. So it doesn't really matter.
No doubt. It's not about them making money off me. It's about if I only can choose one, right? If I got enough money to get one console, what's going to sway me to go? Which one is going to sway me to go in which direction? And for most people, it's gonna be the PlayStation route,
and that's fine. That's okay. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with people wanting to do that?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying, for me personally, Microsoft really just gotta show and prove if I'm gonna continue.
But why?
Because I don't like what they're doing. I don't like the direction they're going in.
But why don't you like what they're doing?
I don't have to spend the money on that for no reason, really. You know what I mean?
So you're upset they're giving you a choice?
Right? What happened?
You're upset they're giving you a choice?
I'm not upset that they're giving me a choice. I'm saying I'm just not.
Yeah, because they're making more money. They're making a lot of money off of PlayStation games too.
Them, if they want me to continue to support them, they just got to show and prove. For me,
what's gonna show you improvement if they show you? What's going to show
quality? For me, quality first party offerings. You know what I mean? They got all these studios. I want to see that. I want to see Game Pass be truly relevant. I know everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, options are great. You're fantastic. To me, it isn't worth paying $10 for Game Pass. It ain't. It's only worth it. It's only worth it when they put it out there for $1, and it's only worth it when a game that you might be interested in checking out, that's a first party joint, drops, you'd be like, I'll pay $10 to check that game out. That's about it. Yeah, people could say, yeah, it's a value. Absolutely. There's somebody out there that's going to find value in it. You buy the console, and for $10, you got access to all these games. I'm not saying there isn't value. Face value, yes. It's a deal and a half at face value. I'm not going to lie about that, but I'm just saying, for me, and for I think a lot of hardcore gamers, it isn't worth to just set it and forget it, which is what Microsoft wants you to do. Get in here for $1, stay on here so we can charge you a couple of months of 10.
So then why don't you just switch to PlayStation? I mean, I don't get the bad thing about that.
No,
You know, if you feel like you don't like what Xbox is going, then just go to PlayStation and play on that. I wouldn't care. I'm sure a lot of us here wouldn't care. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat wouldn't care. You know, you don't have to. I don't feel like we have to justify our purchases. If we feel like playing on certain console, then we'll play there.
Y'all taking it in a whole different direction. You
well,
know
no, see,
I understand that you want them to do better. I get that. I get the whole you want them to do better thing, but if they're not giving you what you want, then what's the point of you staying on that console if they're not giving you what you want?
There. Hold on. There are a couple things. First off, the friends that he has on that console that don't necessarily have a PlayStation, I can see that.
Okay.
I can see that, but not for every game though, because there's a lot of games that are single player.
What I'm saying is, for you, I can't tell you what to like and what not to like. The same way you can't tell me, about God of War or whatnot. But when you said a lot of hardcore gamers as well, like I feel that there's a lot of people out there that actually do see the benefit of Game Pass. And yes, they might even look at Crackdown, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay and be like, well, that's not for me. But there's also almost 200 games in there for $10 a month that they can all play.
That you think that it's worth paying the $120 a year,
the price of 2 games to play up to 200? Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Which 180 of them you're not gonna play.
Why not?
I'm being because you're not.
But that's Xbox business. That's not ours or yours. That's
the majority of people.
But dude, I play games like I played Resogun on the PS4. I played Gang Beasts. I played Minecraft. I play Halo if you want to get competitive. I played Destiny. I play a wide range. So when it comes down to it, that 180 games in there, like there's a good chance I'm gonna play those games. You see what I'm saying?
It's not worth just setting up the recurring payment for it, bro. For me,
I
just jump in.
That's the thing is we can only speak for you as an individual. Because here's the thing: is me and Bot does Game Pass. I don't complain about Game Pass.
Yeah,
it's for a different customer. I like to own my stuff. I like to purchase my stuff. No one should have to criticize me for wanting to purchase and not getting the same deal that Bot's getting. And vice versa. Like I don't get it.
If I ever wanted, that's what I mean. I just use the Game Pass. I just put the Game Pass thing out there because, like I said, for what buy the next Xbox when I could just, go on my PC and get Game Pass. Right? They're bringing it to PC.
Knox, that's the heart of what you don't like right now from Microsoft and from Xbox. It's the fact that when it comes to their exclusives, it's not necessarily exclusive to the console. You can play it on PC as well. They're talking about streaming on multiple devices. They're doing a subscription service with Game Pass. Plus, you don't like the first party that they've shown recently.
Yeah, I'm not. Y'all taking it like I'm hating on Xbox. I'm not hating on Xbox. I'm just saying they're not really enticing me into copping the next gen console.
And I respect that. That's just absolutely your prerogative.
You know what I'm saying?
For me, I love having both consoles. So I mean, of course, I just like having any console or every console or even a PC. Like, I just like having all that stuff, and I get where you're coming from, Knox. You want to see more. I get that. You want to have a reason to own an Xbox. And that's understandable. That is absolutely a respectable way of owning an Xbox. You know, there's a reason to have it. But you know, coming just from me, I love playing on both. You know, like I could care less. You know, where I'm playing my games as long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You know, at the time.
Yeah. Yo, again, huge shout out to the chat for hanging out with us. It's been absolutely great, guys. We're getting close to like 9:30. You know, it is a crazy topic. I feel like this negativity at the end of the day, there's a I feel like it's more than what's actually like warranted right now. I feel like, you know, with what's going on recently, which people have a problem with, no doubt, it's all good, but don't go and say that like we have had nothing this entire generation,
Yeah, but
because
they've been saying that since the beginning of the generation, dude. You know, like they've been saying that since we started. They said that even last generation, you know, that we don't have anything because all we have is Gears, Forza, and Halo. You know, like it's just gonna keep continuing until, you know, Xbox really shows that, you know, they have games for their consumers. I mean, it's just gonna
but
continue to
they've
happen.
had games this generation for
No,
consumers, man.
I
But
understand that. I
unfortunately, there was this
understand that.
whole power debate, first part of
I,
the generation.
it,
So,
it was that was partially that,
well,
but there
dude,
was a
people
lot
were
of those
hold on,
games that
people were
people didn't
counting
like.
pixels when it came to Sunset Overdrive. Now that was native 900p, and because it was 900p, there was a huge amount of negativity over it because it was 900p. You look at Quantum Break. The biggest thing
Yeah,
that
see
brought down Quantum Break
that never
was
bothered me.
resolution, but it got flooded out there. That was the main topic for those games, and it wasn't
And
about how fun they were or
those
anything like
people
that.
those people are entitled to that opinion, but you know, when I played those games, I didn't see what they were talking about because I mean, maybe it's just me. I just can't see it. You know, maybe I'm blind. I don't know. But I didn't see what they were talking about at the time. I was just like, okay, I'm enjoying this
Yo,
game. I don't
Shady.
care what you're enjoying. You know.
Yo, Shady's going crazy in this chat. Yo, huge shout out to my Xbox Nation brothers, So Shady, out there, and Brian Baker as well, and the moderators of the chat. Thank you guys for holding it down. I did think this topic would get a little bit crazy. The chat might get a little kind of like I don't want to say heated, get a little extra
Rowdy.
lively, a little rowdy. There you go, and you guys are holding it down. Thank you guys so much. Um, at the end of the day, guys, if you are Xbox fans and you have enjoyed games throughout this generation, don't let anybody sway you differently. All right? If you enjoyed like Sunset Overdrive, if you enjoyed Quantum Break, you want to let people know about those games and or any other games out there, including on PlayStation, on Switch, or whatever. Do that, because as a gamer, that is part of the hobby as well. Don't listen to any of the negativity out there. Of course,
Shoot, don't even listen to us.
do you, especially
Do it for
Dark. Don't
yourself.
listen to Dark, man. No, I'm just. But at the end of the day, there's gonna be criticism on every platform. Every platform. There is no perfect platform out there. Okay, whether it's PlayStation, whether it's Nintendo, whether it's Xbox, whether it's an open platform like PC, there is no perfect platform out there. Every platform can be criticized, but at the end of the day, as long as you enjoy what you invested in, guys, have fun with it, talk about it, and that's pretty much the deal. Don't let the wave of negativity kind of go over your opinion and be like, you know what, maybe I just didn't have that much fun with like Rise, Son of Rome, or maybe Forza is just a really niche title, and caught that, Nark.
I love Horizon, but that motorsport
I love
definitely
motor.
needs to.
I do like Horizon, but I feel like motorsport. I grew up with that traditional kind of like closed circuit,
And I get that.
and it's still kind of
I don't
there's still
I
something in there for me.
I don't understand why people have such an issue when all you're asking for is for a company to do right by the consumer. That I don't get why everybody gets all upset if you you know
Well,
Just make a couple of statements about shit that you would like to be better.
dude, I don't.
You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
don't think anybody on here got upset with like with you
No,
on that.
no,
And
I'm reading the chat over here. You know,
oh
people,
yeah, dude, it gets
Yeah,
kind
just
of
don't
crazy.
pay attention to the chat, dude. the chat don't know what
But
the
just
fuck they're
remember,
talking
for
about half the time.
every
So.
kind of like weird, kind of like crazy comment you see in the chat, there's another one that makes absolute sense. I think that's one of
Yeah.
the great things about doing a live show. But guys, we got to wind it down. And like a 40-year-old with a comb over, man, we got to get those plugs in. So let's start with my brother Knox. Knox, you were definitely. I feel like you were more your old self, man. You were animated. You were going in. It's always great to talk, games, gaming news with you. When we're in a party on Xbox Live, dude, your personality is absolutely amazing, and I'm glad we can bring you to everybody out there in the chat. Why don't you let people know what you're doing, your YouTube channel, and where people can go to talk games with you, man?
well, I mean, y'all could catch me right here on the next podcast. The Ho and Knox We Trust thing. I'm gonna have to, put that to the side for now. You know what I'm saying? Even my appearances on next podcasts are gonna be limited moving forward because I have like, certain things that I have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? We were speaking about this. But yeah, man, right here, come through, shoot the shit about gaming with you cats. You know what I mean? It's always
And
cool.
Destiny 2 on PS4, right, brother?
Destiny 2 on PS4, kid. I'm 670.
Oh, dude, I'm already 700, man. Come on now.
On
Come
PS4?
on now. No,
On
no,
PS4?
no, dude, I don't even have a PS4
Oh,
yet.
all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say he proclaims himself as King Neutral, but he doesn't have a PS4.
Dude, I have the most neutral and balanced kind of like thought
But yet,
process going throughout the
but
entire.
yet, you don't like God of War or PlayStation or
Oh
Spider
well,
Man or anything.
sir, I like God of War.
Oh,
I
shoot.
like God of War. All right. Best one is God of War 3
Oh, shoot.
remastered. I don't like the direction that they're going with the new God of War. But
I'm
well,
messing with you, bot.
Dark. Well, since you like to mess with people and everything like that, why don't
Yeah.
you let people know where they can get a hold of you to talk games and what you're up to, man?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Dark. You can find me
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. You can also check me out on PlayStation at the same name. Yeah, you guys can find me here every Saturday from now on. Just shooting the shit with you guys and hopefully, some more stuff will come along the way. I have an announcement next week. Hopefully we'll talk about that later though, but yeah.
I can't, dude. You said that last night too. Now, I can't wait. You haven't told me anything behind the scenes, so I'm
Not yet.
curious. I'm curious to see what the hell this announcement is, man. Maybe I could get it out of you once we go off air. I don't know, but I'll try. I will try. Yo,
I don't
Don.
think I'll have to try. I'll probably tell you.
All right, definitely tell me. Yo, Don. I put up the next podcast bat signal, and you came in, and I'm glad you did. As usual, it is always good to have you. First off, as a part of the next podcast family, but then coming in and sharing your thoughts and opinions on the topics we have. It's always fun talking to you. Why don't you let people know what you're up to? Where people can get a hold of you to talk games, and I believe you're streaming more now as well, right?
Yeah, I tried to stream it. I'm already playing. Why not, right? So you just click on a couple buttons. But me and my wife are doing a couple streams on Saturdays. She's learning how to control a first-person shooter, and the best way to do it is actually, playing Sea of Thieves because it's slow paced enough for her to kind of keep up with. So yeah, we've been doing that. We've been doing a couple streams. If you want to catch that, watch me on Mixer or follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet the link out. And if you didn't catch it live, there is a condensed version that's going to be going up tomorrow, actually. So, so it's kind of a highlight reel of our adventure. So
nice, dude. I love highlight reels, man. So that is going to definitely be interesting. Yo, Pred, you came in late, but you came in on fire, man. We put you right in there. get you in on the topics. As usual, dude, your stability here is greatly appreciated. And your opinions and your thoughts on gaming. Why don't you let people know where they can talk games with you, and if you have any plans on doing any guest appearances, man?
No guest appearances scheduled this week, but you can always catch me at basically I'm mostly on Twitter, Predator_HOS. But if you want to game with me and my 509 gear score on Division 2, hit me up on Xbox Live. Everything's the same pretty much everywhere. Next week I will not be here. It was the anniversary for me and the missus. So
shoot.
we'll be on the show. We'll be out getting my pants off, dance off on. So
shout out to K
Dang.
Mega for that one.
so I'll see you guys the week after next. And vote for Pride.
I don't know about your sex life. It's pretty gross, bro.
I don't need any help in that area.
All right. And,
Oh man.
we're gonna wait for the beat to stop first. Yeah. Guys, huge shout out to K Mega. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here. He was at a wedding. I don't know if it's a family wedding or a friend wedding or something like that. But if it was
Definitely a hillbilly wedding.
if it was open bar, K Mega's there. I mean, I'm just saying.
You know that wedding cake's nothing but Hostess products. It's like Twinkies.
Oh shoot.
Yo, that is savage right there. But huge shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. It has been absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to Christopher Hart, trying to hold it down for his PlayStation brethren. I see that. It is Christopher. He actually came over from GRG. He was like, I'll check out the show and stuff like that. And he has been here every Saturday ever since. Man, you gotta admire that dedication. So thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out with us on a Saturday night. But I know the gamers got a game, guys. I will have the poll up within 10 minutes on Twitter. The conversation was so good, I just got kind of wrapped up in what we were talking about. It will be between Predator, myself, Knox, and K Mega. So go to my Twitter page at Xbox448. It'll be up there within 10 minutes. No, is that subliminal? That's not really subliminal. Like, that's
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah. But guys, I will end the show the way I do every Saturday. We will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Vote for Knox.
Is that Willy Wonka's Dance Factory? What is that?
Yo, that was perfect. Yeah.